Welcome to the Broken Pencil Booking Company Pro Wrestling Podcast and radio show infused with hip hop. I am Wood.
Made daily with organic, farm to table, localized, neuralized, sterilized, Scotch guarded for 2020 repellent, available online, shipped via Amazon, not available on Sundays, but now available on thebeastradio.com. Broken Pencil Logic. You stay classy, internet. I'm Suave Burgundy.
Shit.
Sound the feasting horn. A whole lot of fucking gang shit.
That feasting horn?
That will certainly suffice.
May you all have the finest meats and cheeses. Hail to the king.
Tony Snow.
Look at this ball of ass spread.
Tony Snow, ladies and gentlemen. We active in this beat.
Because you cannot ban the snowman for any reason, and because of this, we are outside and up in this bitch
simultaneously.
Yes. Indeed. On your funky ass. Yo,
on your bitch ass.
Yeah, put some bass on it.
Listen.
On your bitch ass.
Zoom updates be damned. Last week's episode
was a miracle.
Listen, I don't know how well it came across to you. I just know what I had to go through to make it happen. And
now we still sounded like we handled our business, but boy,
I didn't know anything. It sounded great. I thought it was just a regular episode.
Snow, when I tell you Zoom be damp, have you ever seen a Mac crash?
Yeah, it's not fun.
You ever seen a 2019 Mac crash?
No, I mean, if you have a Mac that new and it's crashing, there's something going on there, Wood.
So I couldn't wait to get this update, and as soon as listen, we're business.
You're gonna need to schedule an appointment with a specialist.
Business as usual. I am the specialist. It's me. I'm the specialist. Business as usual. This week, right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back on this shit.
With more gang shit for your more gang shit and bang for your buck.
Taft, it's also our thoughts and prayers are with you. I'm sick of starting to show off, shouting out for mass shootings in this country, but I mean, man, all that aside, we have Tony Snow back with us. We have an action-packed episode. All the shit that y'all been talking with your fingers on these keyboards. We about to get active. We about to get active with verbally. You know what the fuck we talking about. If you don't, y'all stay tuned. Jake Atlas arrested. That's what we talking about, y'all.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, y'all know the story of the week is Jake Atlas getting arrested for domestic violence.
Yeah, that's the story of the week.
That's the story of the week.
That's it. Hey, man.
Hey, first of all, gentlemen, both of you, have you acknowledged your new reigning and defending tribal chief of men's rights, Johnny Depp, today?
Oh man, Johnny.
Wait,
Depp
hold on.
Wait, what? What are we doing?
I have.
I'm about to. The clip of him smoking dope while listening to Bob Marley as he is leaving court victorious.
Yep. What a gangster.
Should be played
at high volume
every day at high volume.
Preferably in the residential district.
This shit should be like, you know how they show the trailers before movies when you go to the theater? That shit needs to be inserted with the trailers before you start your film.
Dude, yeah, no,
that is inspiration on another level.
The very next Johnny Depp movie he does, that needs to be like the intro right before the opening credits. Like you see him pulling off from the courthouse, smoking a joint, blaring Bob Marley, and then the movie starts.
Facts.
How bad do you have to feel? How big of a piece of shit do you have to be to be awarded $3 million and still be short 12?
Probably as big as the piece of shit that she left on his pillow.
That's rough.
Long day. Looking for 3.
Hey, bitch, you got your 3 off top. I need my 12. How long is it gonna take you to get that?
I think the funniest thing about all that is apparently she pinched it. This turd was like in the center of his pillow, like all like presented and shit. You know, it's like and she tried to blame it on the Pomeranian dog they have. Like that turd was bigger than the dog itself, bro.
No. I'm not okay with any of that. No.
Like what would you have to do? Like how did she justify, like she gets mad at him, so she goes over and squats over his pillow and shits.
That alone is enough. It should be enough to take you to Terrell. Like that, fuck that. That is, you're playing with fecal matter. It's time to admit this person. But hey, do you have one of those jackets in petite?
Oh man.
but the boy Jake Atlas, he kicked off Pride Month in the absolute worst way possible.
Oh God.
Tony Khan is out here doing deals with Diadora, trying to release Pride-based sneakers. And you do this?
Because bitch
you
Texas?
Do this?
Because bitch Texas?
Nah. Texas ain't got shit to do with this. This is all on
we'll talk about that Jake Atlas shit later on. Y'all know the real reason why we here.
I thought we was outside on Jake Atlas now.
Yeah.
Well, fuck it. Let me
build it up to a crescendo.
Stick around. You ain't gonna want to skip this bitch. I'm telling you.
We are outside and up in this bitch
simultaneously.
Oh my God! Like Jake Atlas, I don't. You got into an argument with your partner. You got into an argument with your partner about trying to pop off a 3. Like, and then it became.
Let me give you the short version. Because the full version is fucking hilarious. The short version.
I want you to read the full version.
All right.
The short version.
Because the short version was on Bleacher Report. Oh shit! Please don't let me forget how much beef we got with Bleacher Report. Oh my God.
Oh, we'll get to that because we got to recap the pay-per-view.
Oh man, big.
Don't give away the agenda yet. Stay tuned.
Selling something. All right.
Start with Jake. With this, Jake, I need my money, Jake.
This according to Cage Side Seats. Police and court documents state the arrest came as a result of an incident which started on Sunday night at an Orlando bar. This is Sunday, May 22nd. Yeah, my lord.
Yeah, my lord.
I said, yeah, my lord.
Yeah, my lord.
20 and 20.
Hold on. Year of our Lord. Did I do it right?
Hey, man.
We'll take it, Tony.
You
today,
worship in the way you know best.
Hold on. But today's date is Thursday, June 2nd. Yeah, my lord.
Yeah, my lord.
I said, yeah, my lord.
Yeah, my lord.
Was I supposed to? Oh shit.
20 and 20.
Hey, man.
And you're hearing this on Friday, June the 3rd. Yeah, my lord.
Yeah, my lord.
I said, yeah, I lord.
Yeah, my lord.
20 and 22.
20 and 20.
Man.
All right, there we go. Now, back on task here. Police and court documents state that the arrest came as a result of an incident which started on Sunday, May 22nd night at an Orlando bar. Atlas, who was openly gay, was drinking at a bar with friends when he called his partner to join them. When his partner arrived, he tried to get Atlas to leave the bar, but Atlas convinced him to go with him, quote, to a female friend's house to engage in sexual activities, unquote. The partner and a few friends then relocated to the friend's residence. So they about to run a bus though. I digress.
So this is an orgy popping off. You just
there Atlas continued drinking and eventually became very angry when his partner, quote, showed more attention, unquote, to their female friend than to him. A verbal argument ensued, and Atlas became very physically aggressive and charged at his partner. A friend apparently tried to stop Atlas twice, eventually convincing him to go home and sleep it off. When his partner left, however, Atlas followed him, and the ensuing altercation left his partner with a scathed forearm and torn shirt, which were cited as possible cause.
What kind of forearm?
A scratched forearm. I thought you said scathed. A scratched forearm. My bad.
That's a new one on me. What?
A scratched forearm and torn shirt, which were cited as probable cause for the domestic violence charge.
Okay, I got a couple issues with this. First of all,
I'm not done.
Motherfuckers getting charges over scratches.
I'm not. Wait, there's more. Police were called after friends were unable to get Atlas to leave the apartment he shared with the victim, where the scene eventually moved. Officers say they gave multiple opportunities to tell his side of the story, but Atlas was only interested in talking bad about his partner. As a condition for his release from jail, which occurred later in the day on May 23rd, Atlas agreed not to contact the victim and must stay at least 500 feet away from him unless otherwise allowed by the 9th Judicial Court in Orlando, Florida.
My God.
Okay, I've got one major problem with this, but I'll let y'all talk about anything y'all have to say.
It's probably the same major problem I have. So
please.
I'm going to open the floor to the snowman.
Okay, here's the part of mine. Okay, Jake Atlas is a fucking idiot. And here's why.
Hit the bell for that one.
So, Jake Atlas is out with his friends getting drunk. Am I correct in saying this?
Yep.
He hits up his boyfriend to come join them in getting drunk.
Partner,
sorry.
You don't know his what's that?
Non-binary
adverbs or whatever it is.
They or them show up, and
pronoun. Go ahead.
And so literally, like, he gets his partner to come, and then he convinces his partner, hey, we're all going to go back to this friend's house for this gangbang. And his partner okays it. And then when they get there, he gets mad at his partner for participating in the activities. Like, you're calling this dude along and convincing him to come with you. And then you're getting mad when he jumps into it balls deep. Like, what the fuck, bro? What did you expect him to do? Just sit on his hands until you were like, okay, come suck this one. Like, what the fuck, dude? He's participating in the party that you brought him to.
This is what you're showing out in front of these young ladies and these other guys.
This is what we came here for.
You're really cramping the style.
This is a good pre-fight card. This is what you get on the opening before you pay for the actual fight. This is
the opening match before the main event.
No. You showing out and just killing the whole vibe. So here's what bothers me about the whole thing.
Here's the thing.
He was arrested and charged with domestic violence. Apparently, these two individuals don't cohabitate.
At all. They don't play well together.
No. I'm just saying, I don't believe they live at the same address.
Okay. I hear that. Okay.
So wouldn't it just be a fight?
I'll do you one better.
No.
Don't glaze over that. Shouldn't it just be a fight between two guys?
I learned this in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. No, when it's admitted that they are partners and romantically involved, it becomes domestic.
Thank you, Snowman.
And even if, like, say the guy that was scratching his shirt torn, even if he says, I'm not pressing charges, once the cops show up, it's over, bro. Like, if you call and say, my partner is attacking me, and the cops show up and they see you with scratches, they're arresting your partner. It doesn't matter if you say, I was mad, I'm not pressing charges. If there is proof of assault, then whoever did it is getting arrested.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to equal rights in America in 2022.
Oh man, a scratch and a torn shirt got this man removed from the AEW company's official roster.
Yeah, because it was evidence of abuse. And the reason it came up in the Heard and Depp trial is she called the cops on Johnny Depp saying he was domestically abusing her, and when the cops showed up, she told them, even though she said that they acknowledged she was beat up, but she said she didn't want to press charges, so they left. And the chief of police was like, no, if there's a domestic case and there's any evidence of abuse, then there's an arrest.
Period.
Yeah.
Period.
So it's amazing what we learned from that trial, which goes back to help us explain something that happened about a week and a half ago. That's insane.
The presence of equality does not guarantee the presence of logic.
Bottom line, I hate it here.
What's insane?
Oh my God!
What's insane is all these big YouTubers that have video game channels that nothing has been coming out in the past few weeks in gaming, so they have started covering the Amber Heard trial. I'm not even joking. Like, video game channels with hundreds of thousands of subscribers have been following the Johnny Depp trial to make fucking money and get views.
That's ridiculous. That is crazy. And ladies and gentlemen, yet again, welcome to 2022. This is how we out here getting money. You gonna narrate some shit that's already on TV. Me and you, I'm gonna watch you on a screen, watch another screen, and tell me.
I'm gonna watch you watch something and tell me what you're watching.
Oh my God! Like we doing this shit wrong. We are doing this shit absolutely wrong.
Listen, this country is a damn participation trophy. We're just happy to be in the world. We just happen to have a lot of money.
Pencil pushers.
We're just happy to be here with electricity.
We finna end this shit. Pencil pushers. Heads up.
Pencils down, bitches. Later.
Oh man, cut this shit off. But yeah,
man.
Come on, Jake fucked off so much money. Jake fucked off so much opportunity, and
this man wrestled one match for AEW.
And unfortunately, he got hurt. That no one wishes that on any talent. But then, obviously, you're not taking the injury well if you're doing this much drinking to where. Like you basically in Jacksonville drinking and fucking your life away.
Here's the thing. They had plans for him. He wasn't just brought in. Like they had him go in and put over Adam Cole when he first came into the company, and it wasn't a squash like most of their enhancement stuff is. They had a competitive.
They had a very competitive match. Number one, two. Right. It went as long as it could considering the injury.
AEW only gives competitive matches to people they have interest in, and I know that from the inside. I've seen, like, my buddy Chandler Hopkins when he wrestled Joey Janela to a long-ass match on Dark, and he wrestled, who else? He wrestled somebody up. Like, they have plans for him, and so they give him time. If it's just a local competitor, they're going to squash him. So they had plans for Jake Atlas. He was supposed to be part of this whole inclusion initiative they're starting to do, like Suave was saying. Good call on that, Suave. Tony Khan has been trying to get like a rainbow themed inclusion pair of sneakers with AEW branding, they
released
part of it.
Yeah, instead of having Jake Atlas part of it, they have Jade Cargill as the face of this.
And Jade's not gay.
He's not gay.
That's the craziest
Jade's not
part.
even gay.
That would be like having me as the face of some.
You could have done Nyla. Well, no. Yeah, you could have. You could have done Nyla Rose. That counts.
How about this though? How about this? Like, aside from the gay stuff, do you know Jake Atlas had a free pass into the gang, courtesy of Rusty Jukes?
Fuck that up now,
man. Shout out to Jukes, man. But golly, like, come on, man.
Just so much irresponsibility at play right now. Just irresponsible.
The whole business is full of irresponsibility, from Naomi and Sasha walking out to Jake Atlas to MJF. All this shit is insubordinate workplace shit, and it's putting out a horrible example to the kids that are watching the stuff.
I'm not necessarily sure if it's the worst example.
Yeah.
Okay, here we are. Yeah, this is how we get to the shit right now. So,
the shit.
From what we've heard,
we got the shit.
Which one you want to do first? You want to do Sasha and Naomi first?
Yeah, Sasha and Naomi. We've been talking about that at nauseam. But we haven't covered it with
this for
Snow.
The last 3 shows.
Well, but we know more about the whole Naomi and Sasha thing now too. When we didn't.
Facts. So apparently communications have broken down to where no one is speaking to anyone from either side, and now
Period.
the pay has been frozen. They've pulled all travel, which means there are no plans for you to be on television or at a house show anytime soon. And reportedly, they're not being paid anymore, meaning
their contract's being held up.
See, I was told that it was different. I was told that they were being suspended, but they weren't. Their contracts weren't held up, and they were still being paid.
So the storyline,
right, that's what I thought at first.
Yeah, the storyline is a suspension, but like now, it's as a separate story. It's they're not being paid. Which, if you're not being paid and you're under contract, that means your contracts are frozen.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, and if the contract's frozen, then they're not going to release them anytime soon. So,
but then if they end up going to court by not being paid, that contract may not hold up quite as well. WWE would be
stupid.
What's the word I'm looking for? No. They've already done that part. They would be best served to continue paying them. And just decide, hey, whenever this is over, whenever that might be, this contract essentially rolls over and you need to finish your time. It's like you violated probation.
Has anybody seen the assumed or presumed remaining time left on said contracts?
Naomi was basically both were a couple of months.
Yeah, both were in the neighborhood of 60 to 90 days.
I read earlier that Naomi was like 2 months, and then Sasha might have been a little bit longer, maybe 6 months. But
that makes it even worse. That makes it even worse, man. That makes it even worse. Like, you couldn't ride out the last 2 months of your deal. Like, okay, dude. When I talk to Teddy about all this, I talk to Teddy almost every day, man. And
shouts out player Teddy Long.
Dude, he loves you guys. He talks about y'all all the time.
We love him too. Straight up.
We love OG Teddy.
Let me give y'all his kindest regards, because he brings y'all up a lot. He thinks the world of you.
Player.
But like he was like, man, these guys, these talents, they get caught up and they don't realize that this shit isn't real. You are an actor and you're playing a role. Like, this is not what's going on. Like, if you get made to look like an idiot in the ring and you're getting paid to do it, then do it. Fuck, Teddy Long got dressed up as a leprechaun and paraded around for people to laugh at him, but he did it because he was under contract and getting paid to do it. So, like, he has no sympathy for them. I'm not trying to speak for him. And, you know, if this was the Johnny Depp thing, they'd be saying hearsay. But anyway.
Once again, Johnny Depp saves the day.
Like, and it might just be his old school mentality, because we all know he's old school. But and I have almost even now, knowing that they only had 2 months left, bro. Like, I have worked at shitty places, man, and I have wanted to just up and leave. And I've worked at shitty places where I get another job lined up. But you know what I do? I'm gonna do the right thing and give you guys a 2-week notice and work it out. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all have paid me. Y'all have helped me get where I want to get in life. And before I move on to this next step, I'm going to do y'all right. If they didn't like the way that their characters were being portrayed, if they didn't want to have to put Ronda and Bianca over, if they didn't want to be tag team champions that are in singles feuds and all this stuff, they should have just done the last 2 months of their work, gone somewhere else, and left on good professional terms. Because now this is going to sour them in the eyes of a lot of other promotions.
Here's the caveat to that, Tony. They don't have to wrestle
at all.
Sasha now, well, Mercedes Vernado has Disney money. That's borderline fuck you money.
Oh yeah, neither one of them has to do anything. They're both millionaires. I mean, Naomi's married. Look who she married into. You know that they don't have.
That's the other thing.
They both got millions.
Price just went up.
That's the other thing. So Naomi is married into the gang of all gangs. Speaking of,
bang or don't bang.
Speaking of, have you acknowledged your tribal chief today?
I have.
That is your daily acknowledgement.
Before my feet even touched the bed this morning, I was acknowledging my tribal chief.
Yes,
when
sir.
I wake up, I thank God for another day. I acknowledge my chief, and then I put my feet on the floor.
There it is, right there.
Nicely.
So Naomi, with her background in dance, she never has to be seen again and can still collect a big bag for never being on camera and still being married to gang.
Dude, she could make a good amount of money doing choreography.
Exactly.
All things we've touched on from her previous history as an Orlando Magic dancer. So what we end up asking is, okay, when you're in a work environment, there is a protocol that you go through when you express discontent or you say, I'm unhappy about something. So once you've gone up the chain of command and spoken to all the people that can affect your job duties, and you're met with either lip service or just flat out resistance, and then your requests are turned into a conversation of insubordination, what are you left with to do other than say, you know what, this isn't for me, let's just part ways? Like, these contracts seem to only work in one direction, because if WWE Stamford, the Supermax, decides tomorrow we're cutting 40 people, none of those people have any sort of recourse other than take this 90 days to figure out what you're going to do next.
Yeah, but that's business, man. That's what happens when you sign a contract. You're signing over everything to them. And with WWE, you're even signing over your likeness. Like, that is the deal you make to work for the biggest wrestling company in the world. Honestly, when it comes down to it, and I might catch heat for saying this, but it's how I feel, and no one can tell me how to feel except myself. I honestly think, based on the history with what she's done in the past, I think Sasha did this for attention, and I think she gassed up Naomi to bring her along for the ride because she didn't want to do it herself.
Okay.
I honestly think that that's what happened.
All right, so let me ask you this. As a good and grown-ass man, is there anything that anyone in your immediate circle can do to make you do anything?
No, but I'm not Naomi, and I can't speak on how easily she might be pressured by someone, especially someone she's known for years who's in that act with her as a champion.
To me, that's the other thing too. To me, that's some old smoke meets fire, which could also lead to this being being the similar situation with Max, where it's a shoot that's now becoming a work, because the plans for the tag team tournament apparently have gotten scrapped. So now you have a title situation that means less of nothing than what was presumed, causing the entire situation to begin with.
The cause of the situation is now the same cause as to why you can't fix it.
And the titles, the tag title tournament scrapped because Stephanie's not there. I guarantee you, if Stephanie McMahon was still there,
regardless, now that proves Sasha's point from the very beginning. So anything after the point that needs to be proven, including the fact that she may have coerced Naomi, and again, this is only a situational conversation, circumstantial conversation, has nothing to do with us assuming one thing or the other. It gives it that much more fire of a burden of proof of truth to side with Sasha on this.
Yeah, but Sasha didn't have creative control. You're a contracted worker. You do what they tell you to do.
She has more creative control away from the damn E than she does at the E. Proof of concept. Where are the women's tag titles?
And as far as the women's tag division is going, they have 3 to 4 women's tag teams in NXT right now that they were trying to get ready to debut over the next few months. In the meantime, Sasha and Naomi were going to hold on to those titles because they were going to be doing single stuff. That's probably why they were going to be doing single stuff, because there were only 3 other women's tag teams on the main roster, and they were teams that were just thrown together that had nothing to do with each other.
But if you want to be...
I think that the plan was they were going to get these tag teams up from NXT, these women's tag teams. I think they were going to get them up from NXT. They're going to have somebody unseat Sasha and Naomi, but before they could get these women up, Sasha and Naomi got pissed and took the ball and left.
Now, do you think if that had been conveyed properly, hey, we don't have a lot of challengers for you, we're getting some ready, we need you to do this until this? Like, I think if that point is conveyed properly, you have a different outcome.
Yeah, well, that point's not going to be conveyed
with the retort, fix your attitude.
That point's not going to get that. There's no logical statements like that. They're going to be made in upper management of WWE right now, because Mark Carrano has been fired. And the head of talent relations right now is Joe Laurinaitis. And we know how...
John.
Rest in peace to Joe. Sorry. Rest in peace to Joe.
Yes.
John Laurinaitis is the head of talent relations, and there has been nothing but nightmare stories told about him his entire career and how he doesn't communicate and how he's horrible at this.
Now, hold on.
I can't with a clear conscience hold somebody accountable for working in a nightmare situation and saying, you know what, I can't do this anymore.
Now, hold on.
I've done that. I've worked in a nightmare situation, and I've been under contract to do such, and I worked out my contract and got a new job because I have morals.
So check this out.
But at the same time, you can negotiate a release. People have done that. It's like, hey, we're not. It's not working out.
They didn't. They didn't even try to. They just left.
All right. So check this out.
But I'm saying it's happened before.
They should have done, they should have just done the match that night, and then the following morning, hey guys, we need to renegotiate, or we need to get out of here. And try to do it that way instead of just leaving. You know, because you leave a show right before it starts, they got to rewrite the whole freaking show. You know, it's messy, man.
They do that anyway. They rewrite the show 4 times during the show actually happening. Like, that's nothing new.
How many times have we gotten tweets and messages like from different websites to say at 7:55 Eastern time that Vince McMahon has scrapped the entire program and rewrote the whole program from zero? How many times have we seen that in the last 10 years?
But he did that by choice. That wasn't someone forcing him to do it because they walked out.
I mean, there are reasons.
Okay, did we? Go ahead.
I would say there are reasons, whether it be because somebody walked out or whether because what you have in front of you is trash. Either way, what you have in front of you isn't good enough. We're starting over from zero. Here's the other problem. Here's the other issue with this. The two people who could be the starting and the ending of all this, all they did was start it and end it, which was Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, right? We don't even know how much of the conversation they actually had with Laurinaitis. All we know is that they dropped the belts off at his desk and walked out with their bags. We do know what producers they were speaking to during the day. That's where I'm going. Of a whole day. That's where I'm going. Who bitched? What producers took umbrage and bitched to exacerbate the problem?
When we're trying to work towards some sort of a compromise,
because
some sort of resolution to this issue.
From everything we've read, Vince McMahon was being diplomatic in the situation,
and it was giving lip service.
And it was
whichever one you want to pick.
Whichever. But somebody decided that fuck that. Like in the words of Ghostface Killer and Triumph. Hey, yo, fuck that. They weren't having that shit.
What all the time, you say it for a while, you said it almost on a weekly basis. What are the 2 most important abilities someone can have?
Suave. Availability
and reliability.
And so Sasha and Naomi were both available and reliable that night, right?
Yep.
No.
Well, no, they were available. They were available.
They were available.
They weren't reliable.
And they were reliable up until the time they left.
They left, and that made them unavailable. They weren't there when they were needed, and they weren't reliable. Neither one.
Are we just going to negate the entire day where we're looking for a resolution? It's not just, okay, Steve Austin did the exact same thing. He didn't even show up to the building.
We did a mixtape on 168 of how, like, people who've taken their ball and gone home, and we left some out. A big one was Medusa.
Right? She ended up dropping the company's now, had they left and shown up on Tony Khan's TV and dropped the belts in the trash and just said, fuck it, we'll take the lawsuit because Khan can buy us out of this, then what?
They'd have been instant Hall of Famers.
I think part of the reason that I have a hard time accepting this incident, accepting the stuff with Max, like, and this has been my entire life, guys, and I don't want to say I'm disillusioned or anything, but I for some reason, it's like I expect people to do what I would do. I expect people to do the right thing, and especially people who are in a position on a pedestal that have a responsibility to the people who are watching. I expect them to do the right thing. And so whenever I see somebody, especially people, whether I look up to or not, that do something that my moral compass says is wrong and is something that I would never do, I have a hard time accepting it, and I have a hard time making reasons to be okay with it. I don't know that, like, I would never just walk out of a building when I have 2 months left on my deal. I have kids at home watching me. I have people that tune in just to watch me. Because whether or not I'm a big fan of Sasha Banks, whether or not I'm a big fan of Naomi, there are people around there who that's their favorite wrestler, who watch TV every Monday night just to hope to see them in a match. And now the fact that, oh, they're tag champions, they might be on TV more. Like, I've got a responsibility to them, man. And so there's no way I'm going to walk out. There's no way I'm going to leave a company on bad terms. I don't believe in burning bridges, man. I've been trained my entire life. And shout out to Flip. He's ingrained this in my head a lot recently. Like, don't do good business, do great business. You know, when Flip was unhappy with his deal, he bought himself out of his deal from Sony. Like, he paid out of his contract. He didn't just breach it. And that's just been ingrained in me my whole life, man. You got to do great business. And whenever I see somebody like that doing shady business, I'm like, dude, why?
I'm 100% in favor of letting people buy their way out of their contract. With 2 months left, I'm sure both of them have enough liquid cash to say, whatever you're going to pay me, I'll buy it. I'll buy that shit. But to the point that you said, with moral compass and doing what you would do, those individuals felt backed into a corner. So at some point, you have to do what's best for you as an individual. Like, I understand wanting to please everyone, but trying to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one. When you're in a situation where you have no other recourse other than to exercise your right not to participate, how is it that we have all this smoke for these two women, but the current AEW champion is the blueprint for this shit?
Boy.
No smoke for him. The greatest draw, or top 5 greatest draw in the history of wrestling ever, Stone Cold Steve Austin, did this shit and did it to Brock Lesnar. No smoke. That's where I have the biggest issue with everyone who has problems with Naomi and Sasha, is that you're not keeping the same energy.
I had problems with Punk. He let me the hell down. He was my favorite wrestler.
That's what I was going to tell you, Tony. Like, you don't put too much faith in the people, because people will let you down.
And every
time
when MJF did that promo with Punk in the ring, and he was telling him how you were my hero and you abandoned me, you left. I felt that to the core of my soul. I had a CM Punk picture on my fucking wall, dude. Like, I was a huge fan.
True, but with all of this energy that we have for protecting your mental health and just not being in situations that are conducive to any form of abuse, whether it be mental, physical, verbal, emotional, any of those types of situations, to remove yourself if it's not going the way that it should and it's being a detriment to you. You have gone to your superiors and expressed your concerns. You were met with backlash, and your final the last thing you have is to leave, which could have been stopped.
But
that's a phone call. Turn around, we'll fix it.
They dealt with this stuff one day. Like, how does that show that they were really trying to make something work when they left the day it happened?
But that's just the day we know about.
Right, that's the day we know about, number one. Two, we're putting a lot of stock into Sasha's influence on this whole situation, but no one has said anything about Naomi's part in this whole situation, which we don't know the degree that it is, nor do we know the degree that she was actually coerced by Sasha. So I think that's an unfair narrative to create simply because of Sasha's past history with doing this. Naomi's still the X factor, and to me, no news is good news, meaning if she ain't said shit about it, or if we haven't heard shit about it, that means she didn't say shit about it. She probably just stood with her teammate, because we already know how she feels about being stripped of the title because of injury and never getting a chance to compete for it again in a fair situation. That was fucked up on its own. So if anybody has beef, she definitely has beef too.
And she hasn't said anything since, like, I follow her on Twitter. Naomi's Twitter, all of her social media has been silent since she left.
So has Sasha, but Sasha did the one thing that nobody else did. She used her influences to go outside, and when you can't trust anybody else, who you gonna trust? You family. She went to her family, and Snoop got one in the chamber, and we ain't gonna hear shit until he decides he wants to put it out.
Ain't nobody gonna tell Snoop a motherfucking thing about nothing.
Nothing.
If Snoop decided after all of this he wanted to do business with WWE, Stanford would gladly invite him.
He's still doing business with WWE while in bed with AEW. What you mean?
They took him off of the. I thought they took him out of the Hall of Fame. They said because of that AEW stuff.
Even if they did, there's mechanical royalties coming from Sasha's theme song.
Then there's that. You gonna pay me one way or the other. You might as well leave me in there and leave me enshrined. Taking me out ain't gonna stop these chicks.
Whether they like it or not, Snoop is on 3 nights a week.
And that's right. And that's what it goes to is the fact that Stanford is petty. We know this to be true about a lot of stuff, but all of a sudden, because it's these two individuals, we're going to be more petty than usual, and it's a horrible look.
Wait,
so the absence of a Stephanie McMahon or other women of influence in the power structure is starting to show.
Tony Stone, you said they may have taken Snoop out of the WWE Hall of Fame because of the AEW shit. Is that correct? Uh-oh, Snowman.
Snow muted.
Sorry about that.
Okay. So Snowman over here being man.
He was in mid-talk. Just let him
someone I didn't recognize was at my front door, so I didn't know if I'd have to regulate.
Ring.
You did the Malcolm X pose by the window?
Exactly.
So you said that they may have pulled Snoop from the WWE Hall of Fame, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now I don't know this to be true. I'm going to look at it here in a second to find out. But you mean to tell me they would pull Snoop from the Hall of Fame simply because he decided to go advertise a show that he's working on the same network as the wrestling program that he's a fan of? Wait. While you still have a convicted, multiple time convicted drunk driver who actually allegedly killed someone behind the wheel, still in your Hall of Fame? This is what we're doing.
There's a lot of people in the Hall of Fame that probably shouldn't be, but that's neither here nor there.
Back the very first episode of AEW Dynamite. You guys watch that shit?
Of course.
Yep.
Who were the celebrities that were ringside for that show?
That is a great trivia question.
For the very first one, I know Snoop was there, wasn't he?
And when they get a streaming,
listen.
When they get a streaming service, I'll be able to answer that shit way better.
Chris Jericho was in Clerks, was in Jay and Silent Bob reboot. And Chris Jericho was the champion on the first Dynamite, and he invited Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes to come be in the crowd as his guests. Kevin Smith and Jay Mewes, Jay and Silent Bob, they were shown at ringside, a camera shot with their names on it. The very next day, WWE contacted them and said that they were no longer going to be an advertising and marketing partner in the Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Petty.
WWE was supposed to be doing a ton of promotion and marketing like they do with Jackass, like they did with all this other bullcrap for the Jay and Silent Bob reboot. But just because they were shown on AEW TV, WWE canceled the deal. And that's straight from Kevin Smith himself.
It's petty, but it's also expected, and as much as somebody may not like it, they're well within their rights to do that.
So, yes, I can see WWE removing Snoop from their stuff because he was shown on someone else's television while they let Sunny go out and kill people because she ain't affecting their viewership. She's not showing up for the competition. That's how they think, man. They don't care about people's lives. All Vince cares about is money.
If anything, she's helping their viewership because people are going to the network to see what she did. So,
one thing that Teddy tells me all the time that Vince says constantly, whenever anyone asks him to do something or bring something up, he says, will it draw me money? Is it going to draw me money? Is it going to draw? Is it going to draw? And anything that takes away from his draw is dead to him, bro.
Facts. I totally understand. And when it's said like that in such direct terms, you can't do nothing but like it, love it, or deal with it.
Man.
So, but when we look at yeah, that's it. You get three choices: like it, love it, or deal with it. But dealing the same way Snoop ain't gonna bat a motherfucking eyelash about not being in the WWE Hall of Fame, because then he'll be back at some point, because, you know, boomerangs always do that. I feel like Sasha and Naomi kind of have that same vibe about this. It's like, okay, you gonna pull us from everything? Fuck it. I got money to sit home. I can ride this out just for as long as you can. And for these exact reasons, I have other shit that I can go do for a living. But if I have tried, I have made an effort to come to an amicable solution, a resolution about our problem. The fact that we're carrying titles that don't mean anything, like you're not performing as the champions that you're billed as. Like, you're putting me in single stuff. We ask, hey, what about us as a team? Maybe we should have just dissolved the tag titles and you would have never had this problem. We're talking about the tag titles now more than we ever have.
I know, right? Isn't that sad? It's like when a rapper dies and everyone watches their music videos.
Facts.
This was about 3 months ago when I'm sitting here on this very podcast still differentiating the tag team championships on the women's side from SmackDown to Raw as if they actually fucking mattered on both brands. Just 3 months ago. Mind you, they've been unified for almost 2 years?
It was a cool idea. It didn't work out. Let's just retire them until we're ready to make a bigger investment into tag team wrestling. Because they don't necessarily do it with men. Like, tag team wrestling is not a Stamford thing. That's everywhere else. And I've heard the explanation as to why several times. I just accepted that's what it is.
Let's get into this Double or Nothing recap real quick so we can get to the shit of things.
Facts. That's right.
Kicking off the actual show, right? Fresh off the Paul Heyman playbook, if I'm not last, I'm going on first. MJF versus Wardlow.
He showed up. He showed up. He showed up. That was hilarious.
MJF was AEW's Paul Wall on Sunday because he had the internet going nuts all week long.
And left sitting sideways.
MJF, after 10 power bombs that JR called 8, after 10 power bombs, defeats MJF. Wardlow defeats MJF and becomes officially all elite.
But let's not bury the lead on that, because there was a certain air quotes wrestling media journalist who put out a lot of misinformation the night before.
You talking about No Boss Cap?
The one and only
SRS.
Man, listen.
No,
that's him.
Yeah, but no. Yeah, but no, but yeah.
Yeah, he's the fucking worst, man. Like,
can I tell you guys the highlight of this match for me real quick? When the paramedics put the oxygen mask over MJF's eyes.
Listen. Were they trying to blind him?
Air into his forehead.
Were they trying to blind him? Because they keep. First of all, if you saw that shit from production, don't keep putting the camera back on that guy.
Like, what choice do you have? He's got his hand over his head in a claw.
You move it to the guy who's at the camera directly behind that EMT, because that EMT should be fired and the person in production should be fired.
That EMT is a Fritz Von Erich product.
I was about to say, that EMT was a local wrestler putting the Von Erich claw on him. That was not a paramedic.
Dead ass. That is Kerry Von Erich if I've ever seen it.
Wait, hold on. That might have been Ross.
That was the second most cringeworthy AEW moment in history, right behind the Creeper and his horrible punches on Dustin Rhodes.
Oh man.
I had forgotten about that.
Yeah.
My God.
Forget about that.
Yeah.
Because certain memories you just have to repress.
That one's gonna go down in the annals of history as the absolute worst for AEW.
In the annals of history. Because that was ass.
The Hardys and the Young Bucks in what should have been a dream match, but the only person that should have been dreaming during this match is Jeff Hardy.
Stinger, no Steve Borden.
Jeff Hardy should not have been in this match, and for fans to take him to task and accuse him of foreign substances entering body after that car crash that we talked about last week on 168 that was on the Owen Hart Invitational tournament. Listen, or the Memorial Cup tournament. The fact that he is still dealing with injuries and it showed up in this match shows you why you should not do car crashes on television weekly and kill your mid to top tier stars.
So check this out. Number one, with Jeffrey, you mean to tell me that AEW fans essentially accused him of the same thing that got him fired from Stanford?
I'm going to assume they're AEW fans. All I know is that their fingers do the talking.
You're watching the product, so whether or not you accept it, you're a fan.
Dude, it was just one botch after another, man. And the Hardys, and Jeff was the worst.
It's one thing, Tony, to call it a botch if it's just like a missed move. When you don't have it, when you don't have the energy, or your body does not give you the power to do what your mind says to do, that's a health hazard. That's beyond the botch.
He was suffering from system failure.
Well, as I was talking earlier, I've been spending some time on Twitch recently. I'm trying to get a channel established on there. And I was on Matt Hardy's channel the day after Double or Nothing. And he was doing a Ask Me Anything and just chatting with the fans. And someone asked him about Jeff and how he was doing. And his whole face countenance changed. He's like, Jeff's at home resting. Yeah, he's resting. His back's okay, we think, but yeah, he's trying to recover.
True.
So
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, so I mean, his brother made it out like the dude's not doing well, man. I just think he might not have enough left in the tank at this point. He's putting his body through so much between the substances and the wrestling, and I heard somebody talk recently about how when Jeff was in Impact, he would show up at TV, he would say hi in the production meeting, and then he would disappear until 5 minutes before his match.
I mean, that was evident for the match that he had with Sting, the 87 Seconds of Doom.
Oh, that was horrible. Facts. Yeah.
But Wood, to something you said earlier, he should have been in this match. He shouldn't have been in the 6 or 8 he had on free TV before that.
Let alone the two car crashes within 1 month for free.
And they were talking about not long into his tenure there was news on the dirt sheets that he wasn't happy about wrestling so much and wrestling on Dark and Elevation because he wrestled a couple matches there.
Their first match in AEW should have been the one they had Sunday.
Thank you. He shouldn't have been in the ring at all until this first.
I mean, let's go back to his debut, man.
Emoting down the ramp. That was the last time he was healthy in AEW.
Matt's in the ring getting his ass handed to him. Jeff comes out to his original theme music and emotes on the ramp.
I promise to never do that to either one of you. I promise.
If my music is playing, it's only after they make my face out, not because you saw me coming.
You should see a blur running past you.
That's it.
If at any point we're out and a physical altercation ensues, I will not stop to hit my move before I jump in to help.
This motherfucker's playing
I will not hit the taunt button. I won't. I will not hit the taunt button before I get into the situation.
Oh shit.
But yeah, remember what we said last episode, when you burn the candle at both ends, what happens?
You meet in the middle and it fizzles out.
Flames turn to fizzles. So you took probably your hottest free agent signing. Well, I can't even say that because you done hit some home runs. But one of your biggest free agent signings.
At the time, it was definitely the biggest grab because of the timing of it. It was right after a pay-per-view, and it was at the exact 90-day mark.
It was The Great Escape. Another dude who kind of, moved his way in and out and around. Now, for those who saw the house show footage against the Bloodline, it's eerily similar. So maybe Jeff really is dealing with some physical issues that he's just gritting his teeth through, because the way he was on the ground selling, not a whole lot of range of motion, that seems like nerve shit.
And I'm gonna do you one better.
Seems like
I think it's his back, man. I think it's his back. His brother brought up, his back's rough, and you saw how he was moving. Nerve damage to his lower back, bro.
Let me ask you this:
Right.
what's closer to Las Vegas, L.A. or North Carolina?
Last time I checked, LA.
By about 16, 17, 20 hours. You're absolutely correct. Now,
Far less on a jet.
considering that Dynamite was only 3 days after, or 4 days, 3 days after the pay-per-view, and it was only 4 hours away from Vegas, even though he was pulled from Dynamite, allegedly like pulled off the card, whatever the case may be, he still showed up on TV. But even him showing up on TV on Wednesday, did you see how he was holding his right arm, or not how he was holding, how his right arm was literally hanging?
That's neurological shit, bro.
Yeah.
And Matt even brought up on the channel too about how they had a direct flight home from Vegas after the pay-per-view from Vegas to Raleigh, but by the time they got there, like both of them had issues getting unfolded from the car. Like Matt talked about how the Bucks like hit him with snug super kicks. Like both of the guys were beat the fuck up.
Like Matt can't even run.
Right. Yet another reason why you don't pimp them out on free TV before you get what they have to pay. Don't give away what we can sell.
And dear God, Darby, did we even discuss Darby in a match on You Know Who Ain't Gonna Win last week?
Well, before we get onto that, it's been noted many times, especially right when Matt came to AEW, that he wanted to retire with his brother as the Hardy Boys, and they even said this was going to be their last run. So I think, I honestly think that that Jeff is beyond almost crippled at some point. You know, he's moving around so slowly, like you said, and his brother's talking about him like this. I think he's just trying to do the right thing and finish out his contract and then do something else.
Jeff still has time before he's too far gone, but if he keeps competing like this before he's healed up, he's going to be too far gone, a la Matt.
You're going to have to sit him down and figure out what's going on and if you can get back to a place where he can compete. Because if you keep running him out here on TV and pay-per-views with the condition he's in, you're going to have a really fucked up situation on your hands one day.
Matt's not re-signing. He's been public saying that his pelvic bone and his vertebrae are fused together.
Yeah, stenosis.
And so his lower back is fused together, and he's not. This is it for him. He's not re-signing.
He can't move.
This is the same stuff that was happening with Sheamus, and I don't know if he got it treated or got it reversed. But the fact that he's even in the ring performing at the level that he's performing at is a miracle.
But then that also, for me, just to wrap this up, that begs the question: how much did you pay Jeff with the condition he's in? And when it comes to air quotes finishing out the contract, like, is it not more disingenuous to enter a contract knowing the condition that you're in?
Some people just know taking care of their family, and
by any means necessary,
and giving the people what they want, man. He's big on giving the people a show, and the people wanted the Hardy Boys. The minute Matt showed up in AEW, no one gave a crap about the fact that he was woken Matt Hardy. Like, they wanted the Hardy Boys.
That's because Matt showed up.
I don't put anything bad on Khan. Kanos is Kanos.
Matt showed up at the top of the pandemic, so he didn't even get a chance to enjoy showing up, and then damn near died on fucking live TV 5 months later.
Oh, that match with Sammy, I forgot about that.
That one was pay-per-view, but yes, he almost died a horrible death.
It wasn't the actual fucking fuck. Oh, shout out Rebby Sky. Needless to say, the Hardys won that match. Actually, we should tell you the Hardys won that match. As much as we're talking about them, they actually won the match. For the TBS Championship, Jay Cargillberg.
I'm sorry, guys. My mic was muted. I meant to say, if you want to see the Bucks and the Hardys in a good match, go watch Ring of Honor, Super Card of Honor. It was a few years back, the night before the Hardys came back to WWE. They wrestled the Young Bucks in a TLC match for the Ring of Honor titles. It was in Lakeland, Florida. I was there. It was incredible.
There it is right there. Jade Cargillberg versus Anna Jay for that Bitch Show Championship. And
the road to 175-0.
I'm not gonna talk about what happened in the match because I was watching it but not paying as much attention because it kept losing me.
Anna Jay got her shit in.
But the post match angle, that's what I'm going to talk about. So if y'all wanted to talk about the match, my comments.
No. We're good. I've said all I was going to say about Anna Jay. She got her shit in, but she lost the match.
I think Athena debuting, and this isn't just because she's a friend of mine and all this bull crap.
Because bitch, Texas.
Yeah,
Texas.
Listen, she is the first person that has come on the scene in this run that I could buy into beating Jade Cargill. Like, nobody else that she has gone against, I have been like, yeah, she could beat her. She could beat her. She could beat her. I think that Athena could fucking be D1 to unseat that bitch.
And 100% I agree with you. And for that reason, Jade needs to smash her too. in order to legitimize this undefeated streak, you need to beat people that seem as though they could beat you.
Yeah, you need to run through this roster, and she needs to start wrestling on Mondays and Tuesdays, not just on Fridays, but Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
And we need a couple house show dates just because.
You know what I'm saying? Like if AEW was a touring house brand, like go ahead and get that in there. Let's run these numbers up, because at the rate that she's going, especially since she took 2 to 3 weeks in between our last match, we'll be 5 years.
Her contract will expire before she gets to 175.
I hope that AEW lets Athena be a dick, because like she will tell you, like when she went to
that's inclusion for your ass.
Oh, listen, she just had a great interview with Chris Van Vliet, and she was talking about how when she met her husband Matthew Palmer, who is the head booker at Red River Wrestling. Shout out to Matt Palmer. They were training together under Lance Archer. And Athena's a dick in the ring, and like she kept trying to drop kick Matt in the face as hard as she could, and he kept taking it and then giving it right back, and that's how they became friends and shit, you know. But like she will tell you when she's in the ring, if you saw her at Mania weekend against Mia Yim, she was a total dick, bro. Like she did some nasty, brutal stuff, and so
consider who trained her.
Let her be that. Yeah, if they let her be that character and portray that, then she can believably beat Jade Cargill and me.
Considering who trained her, I don't see that being too far from the truth. Like Skandor Akbar, may he rest in peace. He, character-wise, one of the worst characters in the history of professional wrestling. Maybe one of the nicest guys outside the ring, but on TV, no one liked that man except for those who like people that were hated.
Which is why I was expecting, while she was standing next to Statlander, I was expecting her to KO Statlander and join the baddie section.
Listen,
that's what
not just join the baddie section, but also Stokely Hathaway. Come on,
gang shit. Whole lot of fucking gang shit,
man.
So, I mean, I knew for a while that she had been down there and talked to them, so I pretty much thought that her debuting would be evident. And you know, it's an AEW pay-per-view. Someone's going to debut. But I just had no idea it was going to be her. And I'm thrilled.
Facts.
That was a pleasant surprise, I will say. But actually, both of them, because I was more excited to see Hathaway. Like, it was relieving to see Athena because she deserves to be on TV. But I was excited for Hathaway. Yeah,
and I'm always happy to see AEW like add real competent talent to their women's division.
Man.
I'm always for that.
Going to, at this point, the best match of the night, as much as we don't want to talk about this, at the point of the show, this was the best match of the night and quite possibly the match of the night. Death Triangle versus House of Black. Now, the only thing I didn't care for in this match, because first of all, let this feud die. Please let this feud die. There's only so many times we can see Death Triangle versus House of Black unless they change the members of House of Black.
I mean, they're just waiting until they get the trios thing going, and now you saw they had Punk and FTR wrestling together last night. I think again,
that's the other shit.
Placeholder until the division could get caught up.
There's only one. There's only one true option. Yeah, there's only one true option for your first trios champion, and that's the Blackpool Combat Club.
I don't agree. Not at all.
Not if Kenny Omega comes back.
That would have been the first situation, but even now, if Punk and FTR are going to be a thing, that's where it has to be.
So you don't give Punk the Dusty / Flair treatment where he has the 6-man belts and the main belt.
Dude, Summer of Punk 22.
How you let him beat you to his Suave?
Punk is gonna do a heel turn, and
because I had audio difficulties, but still, you knew what it was gonna be. I really like House of Black. They perform I really do. They have their in-ring style. I'm very much a fan of. The hybrid striking, and it's like a hot chain striking.
Buddy Matthews is the motherfucker, man. He's the motherfucker.
Buddy Matthews is
ridiculous.
Sculpted now. He's huge.
He is a legit heavyweight.
Come piss in this cup for me.
Hey, hold up.
I just want to know if it's 93 or 89 octane.
Let's not do that. Either way.
But my guy getting it in.
So
my guy is handling his business.
The finish comes when Julia Hart comes out and decides to spray some mist in the Pac's face. And I
didn't need that shit at all.
So
shout out to my boy Dan Danzy from Counting Lights. That's the only thing he got right about the whole pay-per-view.
Damn.
Hart would come out and join Black Circle. So
they could have completely missed me with that.
Well,
completely.
It happened,
but not. Let me take that statement back about about Buddy, because it's me joking. But in real life, if you're going to be in the same vicinity of Rhea Ripley, you better get your motherfucking lifting in, because you don't want to end up being the second strongest person in the house.
Man, talk about it.
So thank you, Buddy, for doing your part.
Rhea Ripley, man, she's getting some hoeing in, dude. She's homie hopping at this point.
Hey, woo, hey, Buddy.
Wait a minute.
She was dating that AEW wrestler, and then Buddy Murphy comes to AEW, and now she's dating him.
Hey,
Matthews, you're gonna get somebody released.
Florida is a small state.
I guess she's got that favored nation clause. Whenever.
Hey, yo.
That's that bullshit right there.
Yeah. No matter what, we can get canceled, but you can't ban the snowman.
Bro.
Yo, that's funny as shit.
As soon as Roosh debuts, she'll start dating Roosh.
Oh shit!
If the Jake Atlas shit at the front of the show don't get us canceled, then around here,
it'll show up on Charlotte's Instagram. You'll see Charlotte.
Oh my god!
Wait a minute! Good god!
We're moonwalking this one. in the men's final of the Owens Hart tournament, we got Samoa Joe versus Adam Cole. Baby, Samoa Joe is coming into the match injured, shoulder injury, courtesy of Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt. And
they added that in so it wouldn't look like a total burial of the ROH TV champion. This result of this match and the following were well known by everyone in the building. You have the face of the women's division and one of your most popular male wrestlers who are real life engaged and a couple and starting to show up everywhere together. Of course you're going to put these on them. It's marketing, man. This was like, there's absolutely zero guesswork to these two matches.
And the fan, Adam Cole and Britt Baker, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, win their respective Owen Hart Foundation tournament championships or trophies, if you will, which happened to be championship belts in Hart colors as an homage to the Stampede wrestling belts of the early 80s, which was a pretty nice touch, if I must say so myself.
Very nice touch.
Also, Owen Hart has been added as a playable character on the AEW video game.
Outstanding. That's game shit. That's fly shit.
That's some very cool shit. Now, I guess Kenny and Ukes have worked some shit out.
I wonder if that was the holdup.
Damn. If that was, I mean, hey, fight your battles, Kenny.
That's one worth fighting.
I will not leave this gaming studio until Owen Hart is a character on this game.
I will not leave. I'm gonna be in this bitch like Howard Hughes.
Claim Kennedy, you bitch.
Here's what was a crazy ass match with a very, to me, I like the story was fun, but goddamn, there's only so much of this shit I can take. Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, and Paige Van Zant versus Sammy Guevara, Frankie Kazarian, and Ty Conti in a mixed tag match.
The mixed trios match that nobody in the world cared about watching.
But it was
pop quiz.
Go ahead.
Pop quiz. Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, face or heel?
Ethan's a heel, Scorp's a face.
That's wrong.
What the fuck are we doing?
That's wrong. They're both heel.
Is it?
They're both.
Or are they not both face? Because they were playing. They were playing to the crowd after this.
They definitely.
Ethan Page cut a 2-step.
Here, Trips, hit him with that shit one time.
Here's the thing.
The problem is, you don't know what to do with Sammy and fucking Ty. You think this
exactly what to do with Sammy and Ty.
You leave them in the bedroom and turn the camera off, because if you leave the camera on, you're gonna start seeing meat.
I'm so sick of that storyline, man.
See,
he reminds me of that jock in high school that's dating the hot girl that's way out of everyone's league, and he just rubs it in your face all the fucking time.
Hey, Shane Douglas,
talking to you, franchise.
Zach Morris in this bitch and Kelly Kapowski.
You feel me? So run with it. He is Zach Morris. Find him and AC Slater to be a sidekick.
You know the MVP of this whole match? The MVP of this whole match?
Frankie Kazarian.
A draw. No.
Dan Lambert.
Scorp's Kobe tribute TNT title.
Oh man, don't do that. I'm sorry. The joke, that was definitely not a joke, but definitely correct on that.
That was the MVP of the match. Was that title? That title is beautiful, man.
That is the best makeover of that title since its inception.
I think Scorp is an anti-hero, man. He's the Punisher in this bitch. Like, he's not a good guy, but he ain't gonna let these other bad guys push him around and stuff.
And he still has allegiance to Frankie Kazarian. This is the same shit I preached about with doing like a bloodline or even a Shield breakup, where no matter what happens, you still have the back of your brother. Because Frankie and Scorpio Sky didn't really lock up at all, and and Frankie wasn't really having that bullshit with fucking with Sammy anyway.
There's an unspoken vibe.
Yeah, SCU. That's just going to continue on as a theme for quite some time, and even though they're separated, like
we won't know for sure whether they're heel or face until they start their next program.
Dude, listen, that became one of the hottest things in Ring of Honor, and being the Elite got them over. And I'll never forget, I was at one Ring of Honor event on a loop. I worked with them, and I was all caught up. It was a few hours before the show, so I walked around the concourse, and this is back during, I don't know how they're doing it, how they're going to do it going forward. But when I worked loops with Ring of Honor, they would have meet and greets before every show. And so you'd walk around the concourse, and here'd be the Bullet Club, or here'd be Cody, or here'd be... And everyone's lines were long, but SCU had just formed, and they weren't even called SCU. They were still going by SoCal Uncensored. And SoCal Uncensored had just formed, and their meet and greet table had nobody there. And so I went over there, and I'm a big fan of Christopher Daniels, and when he won the Ring of Honor World Title at Sam's Town Casino in Las Vegas, and I found a deck of playing cards online from the Sam's Town Casino that were from the day he won the title, canceled out. And that was kind of my thing with when I worked with Ring of Honor. I would bring the guys decks of playing cards because I had a ton of them from my days doing close-up Magic. and they like to use them to play cards on the road. Like when I saw Colt Cabana at WrestleCon, he's like, "You don't have any cards for me?" But anyway, I took these cards to Christopher Daniels, and he saw where it was from, and he saw the date, and he's like, "Man, this is great, thank you." And they gave me an 8x10 and took pictures with me and all, and I was like, "Man, these guys, if people sleep on these guys, it's going to be a huge mistake." And they didn't, and they became big, and then they come to AEW, they have this lightning in the bottle, they're the first tag champs, and then Christopher Daniels gets pulled off TV, and they they destroy the team. And it's just like, man, these guys were gold, dude. And they still have the dynamic together. You saw that in this match.
Yeah, no doubt. And
I'm totally agreed. I don't understand why we went in that direction, but
But at least Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, and Paige Van Zandt actually won the match. So I'm not mad at that.
I want Christopher Daniels back on TV, damn it. You don't need to be talent relations. We need a SCU full-on reunion, man. I'm serious. Those guys are great together.
Suave,
we'll get.
Go ahead, Suave.
Maybe we'll get when Ethan Page jumps Scorpio Sky over the TNT title. Maybe we'll see that.
Because Daniels is wrestling in other promotions. He just wrestled in Impact. He made a return to Impact.
That's some WWE shit there ever was. Any like you can work here backstage, but on TV you got to go elsewhere.
Bro, I'm saying.
with some of the shit that makes it on television, I find that highly skeptical.
And he already got screwed over from his title run was cut short because Cody signed with the company and they put the strap on him right away. Daniels only had the belt. He beat Adam Cole, and then 2 months later, he fucking gave it up to Cody on Cody's first pay-per-view right after he signed.
It's rough. It's a hard knock life.
It's hard knock.
Now I don't recall us even talking about this match, and you know who ain't gonna win. How did Kyle O'Reilly and Darby Allin get a match on here? Oh, I'm sorry, YFN Darby get a match on this.
I have no idea.
Something happened the week before, and then Sting had an ankle injury, so they worked it into an angle, and they gave Darby a spot on the show. I feel like Darby versus Cole as the final probably would have been a better look, and then give me Joe versus O'Reilly. But then I would have been picking Darby to win the. I would have wanted the podium to look like Darby and Ruby Soho. The same way they went marketing wise with Cole and Baker. I would have wanted that same thing, but I would have wanted it.
I want them to do
Darby
something.
and Soho.
I want them to do something with Ruby Soho. She got that huge pop on her debut, and then she had that crazy promo with Britt Baker. You remember where she talked about Britt sleeping with the dudes in the back and everything?
Right.
Yeah, and
maybe
then
she's got
give me my fair share of smut.
Right. Let her join a gang. Like, who's recruiting?
Put her with the Varsity Blondes. They need a new manager.
Good Lord.
Oh
no.
man, and now with the imminent passing of Melanie Pillman, rest in peace. It's gonna be a little bit before we see them on TV, I would presume.
So where does Ruby go? What gang do you put her with to feud with the House of Black?
I would have preferred her in the House of Black, truth be told. But
yeah, who you gonna? She's a loner. Like, there's no one that fits. There's not a clique you can put together where she fits in without having to change something.
Right. The
Would have
best
been awesome
friends
for the House of Black, though. All those tattoos, dye her hair.
Exactly. She's perfect with House of Black.
She needs to. Since CM Punk is now dealing with FTR, maybe she should hang out with Darby and Sting. Because I can't think.
Hey, my
best
boy
friends
Deuce,
aren't a thing, so.
my boy Deuce here just said that she's in a tag team with Tony Storm now.
Yeah, but they don't fit. That's like you just threw them together because they have history in WWE, and I don't even think they even cross paths.
Round peg, square hole.
Good point. Good point.
For the and then YFN Darby loses to Kyle O'Reilly.
Oh my God, I'm so tired of him losing.
Yeah, especially man,
we finna burn out all the equity on YFN Darby, and I feel like this is a travesty.
I hate when they take. Oh, thank you, my brother. I hate when they take people and establish tag team storylines and then throw a singles match out of nowhere. You know, like it's not like, you know, like the thing with the women's tag titles where they're gonna have them feud with different people. Like Kyle O'Reilly was in Red Dragon, and then like
Yeah, this ain't NXT. Like, what the fuck is Kyle O'Reilly doing in a singles match on a fucking pay-per-view?
Exactly. Thank you.
Now, keep it 1,000. Kyle O'Reilly was giving out them auto parts. He was kicking ass. But on the cool, I really feel like Darby would have been better off just not being on the show.
Man.
Because why does he keep losing? Do you remember when's the last time he won anything?
No, I don't. And if I'm keeping score, and I think back, it was probably a car crash on free TV. And I'm not bullshitting when I say that.
You lost your last car crash to Jeff. Lost to MJF. I don't remember him winning since losing to Punk. What are we doing here? Whose dog did he step on? He spit in somebody's plate. He
spit in Tony Khan's water, and Tony Khan had a spit tester on his water.
Oh my god!
Okay, check this out. So I'm checking out the cagematch.net.
Well, who did he not pass the joint to?
Darby Allin actually beat Brandon Cutler May the 27th.
Jesus Christ!
Thanks for proving my point.
Before that, he beat Andrade El Idolo on April.
Oh, that's right.
That was the coffin match.
Yeah, coffin match.
Another car crash on free TV.
But what did I tell you? It was a car crash on free TV.
Yeah, and then the other matches before that, back in March, he beat the Butcher on free TV by countout. Before that, the week before that, he beat Mark Quinn from Private Party on free TV on Rampage. Yeah,
this is so proving my point. Even with the wins, this is proving the point. I should have been more specific.
This looks worse than the
last time he won on pay-per-view.
I'm gonna say this looks worse than the Bob Roop on Georgia Championship Wrestling resume.
Georgia Championship.
Jesus. All right.
Right here, man. This is a Mid-South shit.
Oh, speaking of Mid-South, while we're in the middle of talking about this segue in the shit, this week is the anniversary of the inaugural UWF Championship tournament, which I was telling Suave about over the weekend.
Talk to him.
So in honor of that, we're all going to cover ourselves in Vaseline and do mountains of cocaine.
Oh my
Absolutely
God.
not.
No, sir. Not the Herb Abrams UWF, Bill Watts UWF as in the closing of Mid-South.
I'll apply.
I'm getting all Herb Abrams in this bitch.
Yeah, chill out.
Man. we
because if I see you with yellow cowboy boots, I know to go the opposite direction.
Bro. And I love how his title belt was made to where when you held it sideways, it said F you. Like, because the UWF from one side and the UWF the other, it said F.
Only a genius could think of something
Only a genius could think of that. Absolutely.
A mad fucking scientist.
Didn't you watch Jericho's shit? I'm a wizard, man.
Hey, we've already told. We said this last week. Jericho is on a very slippery slope calling himself a wizard.
Did you see where he came out? He came out and on the graphic it said the wizard Chris Jericho.
Oh no, I didn't know.
One fucking wrong slip of the tongue and Wizard goes completely in the wrong direction.
Don't worry, we'll get to Jericho here in a minute because we got beef with Eddie Kingston. I didn't think because Eddie Kingpin is gang, and I didn't think we'd ever get to a point where we got beef with Eddie Kingpin. We'll talk about it here in a second.
What we got beef with him for?
You got to catch last night. They did the little run-in, and Eddie Kingston almost pulled a Titus O'Neil, bro. Like,
I saw that. He came in hot. He came in hot than the sun, bitch.
Dude, he was doing the whole staggering, running for all of his momentum, and he like literally broke his fall on Jericho and then started beating him.
He could have just sold that as a head injury from the night before.
Easily. What night before? Name one. AEW Women's Championship, Thunder Rosa versus Serena Deeb. I was really surprised to watch Serena Deeb take a pinfall. This could have been the beginning of something we talked about last year, Suave, where Serena just runs roughshod with that championship till somebody gets it off her ass.
Now here's a reason for her to join the Blackpool Combat Club. to get the edge to go over the top. So I'm okay with this. I got what I needed. I got quality women's wrestling, so I'm good.
The Jericho Appreciation Society, aka Jackass 3.0, taking on Eddie Kingpin, Santana, and Ortiz.
You ain't shit.
Brian Danielson and John Moxley for Anarchy in the Arena, as John Moxley didn't want to do Blood and Guts. So
no, he didn't want to do Stadium Stampede.
Stadium Stampede, that's right. Yeah, he didn't want to do Stadium Stampede, so he said, yeah, fuck that. But anyway, the cameras on this shit were all over the place, and they should have really had all the cameras on at the same time with like some kind of split screen shit popping off, because this going back and forth and missing shit and catching whatever, it was a bit much.
Old school WCW Bash at the Beach split screen.
Yeah, so here is where we take umbrance with Eddie Kingpin.
We? I need to hear this first.
How do you pour gasoline on somebody in this fucking economy?
Hold on, who's we?
Yeah, right. Who's we? Speak for yourself.
How you pour gasoline on somebody when the gas prices in California are $8.05 a gallon?
That's how you know I mean business.
It's the flex, man. Like, why throw money on him and light it on fire when you can throw gas on him?
What do you mean? I'm bleeding on a Yankee shirt. Somebody get me. Somebody get me. What you mean?
Price just went up.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
you are upset with Eddie Kingpin. We are not.
I gotta shout out Chris Jericho for saving Eddie's life last night, because I just watched the replay and Eddie was going head first into the freaking ring apron, bro. Like he's running and then it's like he tripped over his own foot and his own momentum was carrying him, and Jericho caught him.
Thank him for that contribution, but that wizard shit gotta go.
The funniest shit about the whole gasoline thing was Eddie came to the ring with gasoline can with a crazed look on his face, pours it on Chris Jericho, and simultaneously pours it on his tag team partner Brian Danielson, who says, "What the fuck are you doing?" and slaps the shit out of him.
That's how you knew it was fucking Dasani, because you know damn well if you had poured gasoline across that man's head while he has an open wound, he'd have never gotten up to slap Eddie.
And how is
he'd have been too busy rolling on the mat?
And how is it though? Because he's a wizard. How is it Chris Jericho out of 10 people, he was the only one to not bleed?
Because he's a wizard.
No, not to say that. No, Suave, no.
Price just went up.
No.
I mean, maybe because he booked it that way. I don't know. He's a wizard with the pen. I don't fucking know.
Shit, his bitch. I'm breaking his pencil.
Kingpin Ghost Rider.
AEW Tag Championships: Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus versus Team Taz versus Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland.
And Christian turn on Jurassic Express and cost them the titles already, please, because it's gonna happen eventually.
Like how long can we drag this out? I thought for sure it was gonna happen last night on Dynamite, but no, I was wrong.
They drug it out for the LA Pop. That's what happened.
Your winners and still Jurassic Express.
We don't even have a trigger for and still.
I want to know when FTR is getting their title shot.
When they get it, you can hang that shit up.
So, are we going to let them collect the belts, because that trios idea isn't a bad one? And then once they go ahead and take out the Lucha Brothers, Jurassic Express, they can have those belts along with the ROH titles.
Summer of Funk 2022.
Aren't they still the AAA tag champs too?
No, they lost.
Did they?
I believe they haven't been carrying them. If they carried them every time, they brought them to every match. If they lost,
them bitches heavy.
They look like they're plastic. What are you talking about?
I mean, them hoes is heavy. If they're plastic, you know there's an extra compartment.
It looks like FTR still.
So, like, who else would take the titles off of Jurassic Express, though? They just going to give them back to the Bucks? No, that ain't happening.
You could have
put them on, I'm going to tell you, I really like Hobbs and Shaw.
Hobbs and Shaw. Yeah, for real. Keep you alive. Keep you alive.
Yeah, like, they were actually my pick. I thought that it was going to happen.
We picked them too.
I thought that Christian was going to turn on Jurassic Express and Hobbs and Shaw were going to win the titles.
Right now, I would take I'd take House of Black, but give me Malachi and Matthews as the team.
No, they'll do Freebird rules. Come on.
I mean, they will, but I'm just picking the two I want to beat Jurassic Express.
And I'm gonna tell you, I wouldn't mind seeing Keith Lee and Will Hobbs in the tag team.
Yeah, I think that would go better than Keith Lee and Swerve. I'm not buying into them, man.
But you have to call the team whatever the combined weight is. That's the team name. So if it's 747, I would love it if it was 747. But whatever the combined weight is, that's the team name.
So every week the team name could be different.
Yeah, it fluctuates based on their diet.
Right.
Oh, guys, there's a special going on at Sizzler this week. Guess we got to change the graphic.
Coming in at 823 pounds, 823.
And their matches should be at whatever time the combined weight is.
Oh, see, that's a whole lot of Easter egging right there. Like 823 comes out to the ring and has a match that's 8 minutes and 23 seconds long.
At 8:23 p.m. Like who was the guy that noticed that Stone Cold came out 3 hours and 16 minutes into WrestleMania?
That dude smokes a lot of weed.
That type of shit.
That's the same dude that broke down Kendrick Lamar and Pusha T a song about dope in 36. It's the same motherfucker that did that shit.
Nostalgia? Yeah.
Yeah, the same motherfucker that did that. Yo, for the AEW world title, Hangman Page versus CM Punk. We knew what this was. We knew.
Foregone conclusion.
I hate the fact that it had to go to a. I'm going to have to use my morals to decide whether or not I'm going to use this belt against CM Punk. You're a winner. AEW World Champion CM Punk.
But that's been Hangman's whole shit. Like even when him and Kenny were in a tag team, he's always had like conflicting emotions. To where this is the first time I ever heard it. Excalibur was like
this bitch.
He basically brought out the fact that during his title reign, he's dealt with anxiety and all different kind of shit, kind of making him seem like a sympathetic mental health situation.
Yeah,
like his drinking and all that's tied into his anxiety, and that's tied into his mental health. And then that's what brings up his conflict about whether to be a good guy or a bad guy. Maybe if you explained it better, I'd care. But as like a blanket explanation, fuck that.
Well, first of all, it's Excalibur, so just shut the fuck up, starting with that.
Then there's that.
Little bitch. Yeah.
So I think you despise him slightly more than Charles Barkley.
Charles Barkley is gold compared to Excalibur.
Hey guys, Deuce Freight's back, and he says that Kyle O'Reilly and what's his name and Fishy guy, they're gonna win the titles.
Red Dragon.
You know what? Fucking gang shit.
I would take Red Dragon because you need a heel team to set up for when FTR takes it.
Here's a hot take. He just said that it's not going to be Christian turning on Jurassic Express. He says it's going to be Luchasaurus turning.
No, I actually think it's going to be. I think it's going to be Jungle Bug Jack Perry that's going to be turning.
Yeah, that's been my pick the whole time. He's been the one with the facial expressions like, man, this shit is not for me.
Like, leave me the fuck alone. That's
like Chris. Like, why the fuck am I on Christian's shoulders and not Luchasaurus? Like, what is this?
Christian with this whole their speech. Fuck you.
Nah. Jungle Bug Jack Perry is ordering new ring gear as we speak.
And that shit's gonna have sequins and studs and bell bottoms.
That shit gonna be fire. His kick pads are gonna be fucking phenomenal.
Yo, all right, so the whole
Hollywood Jack Perry, that's what it is. Hollywood Jack Perry. Fucking right.
Can we get John Tatum to carry him to the ring?
Perry 90210.
Yo, can we get John Tatum to bring him to the ring though?
Once, maybe. One time.
Just don't bring Missy Hyatt.
Yeah, it's a package deal.
No.
Dude, no. If they bring Missy Hyatt, then the whole locker room will have to go on a mock facility.
Not today. Nope. Not today, sir.
Not today. Not here. Not up in here. Oh my God. You know what? I think that's the way you have to attack being canceled. You have to hit them with so much shit they don't know what to cancel you for.
You know what? That's the name of the episode, amoxicillin.
Hell no.
Either that or gonosyphilis herpes.
Absolutely not. I am putting my foot down. No and no.
Because that's what she's got at this point.
Oh my god. Allegedly. That's not true. That's allegedly.
Hey, you guys remember The Great Mouse Detective? You guys ever see that Disney movie?
No, I haven't.
One?
It was about Sherlock Holmes, but the lead character is a mouse. And the main villain was like the lord of all rats. That's Missy Mouse.
Oh my god.
That is inappropriate.
No, she's like ring
Sir.
rat prime, man. Like you can't watch a shoot interview from anyone that worked in that era in WCW without them saying how she was in everyone's business, bro. Like she was ring rat, man.
Really, I would just have to go back to a couple of interviews from OG emeritus status Hall of Fame.
Yeah, she's
posthumous.
Radigan in this bitch.
Yeah. New Jack told me everything I needed to know.
Shout out to you, Suave. I didn't realize that obituary was written by you, bro, until you posted that the other day. Very well done, my friend. That was good shit.
Thank you, sir. Thank you kindly. Shout out to Gin Jack, aka
Gin and Juice
gang. So we actually just passed the 1 year anniversary of New Jack's passing. So, continue to send not just thoughts and prayers, but encouragement and all sorts of positive vibes to New Jack's family and his children.
Out of all the things that New Jack did in his life, that I'm like, man, this dude was gangster. Like the most gangster thing the man ever did was show up on Vlad TV and take that man's money to tell him exactly the same stuff that was just told in the documentary a week before.
How about the same? How about we got more out of New Jack than Vlad got for free?
Bro, that
same fucking week.
He literally just went over everything that was in the Dark Side of the Ring. Like, if you watched that, you didn't need to watch the interview. And he took that man's money. Well done, New Jack.
Make sure you go back and check out.
You give people what they pay for.
Make sure you go back and check out the archives. We have one of the last podcast interviews with New Jack, and he was active.
No, dude, he was outside and up in this bitch before we were.
Boy, simultaneously. So, from Sunday up until Wednesday, the talk of wrestling all around the world was, what about MJF? What's going to happen?
We don't talk about Maxwell. No.
Was it a shoot? Was it a work? Suave has his theories.
What does Michael J. Fox have to do with wrestling, guys?
Spin City. You see how all this shit getting spun?
You see? That's what happens.
I've been working for that snare shot all show, and I finally got it.
I don't bring it out because it sounds bad, but at the same time, it was
stay down till you come up. Never give up.
Stay down, get down.
Dreams are made, kids. This is how dreams are made.
That's it.
So, I honestly think that all signs pointed to shoot, but I could never be more sure of anything that I have in my life until I saw the interview on Wednesday, and that interview told me everything I need to know. That this is an elaborate work that started as a shoot.
What type of moron would give a disgruntled employee a live microphone
in front of company? On live TV. Your mama got the church folk at the house on a Wednesday.
And gonna ask you to turn on the Luke music and like you gonna come in and perform Luke. Don't stop, get it.
Head,
in front of the deacon.
Yes,
head, and mohead in front of Pastor Jones.
Hey, we want some
deaconess
pussy.
And the usher board. You gonna do that? No moron. Like, what type of moron would you have to be to give that person a microphone to go out and show out and air their grievances? Ratings are ratings, but don't be a fucking idiot.
And you got it at the hottest.
That's one.
You book this at the hottest time of your show. There's 2 hot times in your show. This is one of them. You do this on purpose.
Like on the cool, let's put all our cards on the table. Wednesday was probably the most important episode of Dynamite ever.
More important than the first one.
So guaranteed, if everybody involved is not playing ball, you not finna be in my ring center stage with all this open mic time. I don't care how over you are.
There were already at least 2 known wrestlers who were told that they would not be wrestling on Wednesday night. So if we knew that they're pulling wrestlers and pulling matches, we know they pull some mic work. But you give the loosest cannon in the fucking industry a live hot microphone in front of company.
Did Punk even cut a promo Wednesday?
Nope.
The new world heavyweight champion.
Actually, he did. Post because FTR and CM Punk had the opening match. After the match, they all had microphones, and he was talking about how he was drug free, never had a drug in his life, but he can imagine how it felt.
That's how he got to the forbidden door. Gotcha.
And then Dax got outside talking about, I've done a drug, and this is exactly what it feels like.
That's hilarious. That's funny. And Uncle Dax during their whole trios run should be like, well, look, Punk, I know you've never had a drink, but I've had one. This is what it feels like. and then go to describe it. That should be their whole relationship.
But shout out to Dax, too, by acknowledging his wife and kid and saying they were the only 2 things in his life more important than wrestling, and they were there.
Solid stand-up guy. Uncle Dax, we fucks with Uncle Dax.
Uncle Dax Harwood is one person. Uncle Dax is somebody completely different. Uncle Dax energy is big.
Yeah. Dax Harwood is who's signed to AEW. Uncle Dax is for the people.
He's the motherfucker.
He's for all of us. Uncle Dax isn't signed to anybody. He's just for all of us.
Uncle Dax would be outside and up in this bitch simultaneously.
Facts. Like Uncle Dax will fuck around and do Broken Pencil Theater with us.
One of the things that's been in the back of my mind this whole time is
smoke.
That's in the front of my mind, my guy.
Just wanted to make sure you were staying sharp.
Yeah.
No Iron Mike. Go ahead.
Early on during the AEW tenure, there was talk all the time about how MJF and Tony Khan were close. Like, they talked all the time. They were buddies and all this stuff. And so that's been in the back of my mind, kind of whispering work this whole time. But the thing that's, if this started out, I've heard a few different news outlets today call it a work shoot. And what it's based on, I despise. Because I knew MJF on the independent scene before he got big, when he was a mid-carder at most. Like, he was feuding with Flip Gordon in Northeast Wrestling when I knew him. And he was a greedy dick, and I don't know how he is at home, but anywhere around. Like I said before, Suave, I even got in a Twitter feud with him, and he admitted defeat, and you told me I should have kept my receipts. I wish I would have. But
yeah, absolutely. You got to go through your history and find that shit. You got to. Yeah.
He always seemed like a spoiled, self-entitled dude that just got everything that he ever wanted, and whenever someone said no to him, then all hell breaks loose.
He's living a gimmick.
And
that
like
part.
when the fact that during his promo he talked about how it was all friends wrestling, they were all handed contracts. Well, he was too. He was too.
That's a Jim Cornette reference too. It's like that was on purpose. Even more of a reason for me to think this is a work.
But he was on the opening match of All In. Like he was on All In because he was friends with all of them. Mm-hmm. He was friends with the Bucks and all of them. Like, they brought him along on there. And so
they did, and there's also added value because it's on pay-per-view and it's one of those shows that's archived forever. It works in their favor to say that they had him first.
Yeah, and so it literally, like, the thing that rubbed me the wrong way is I've been going back on this for days. I referenced Russell Wilson when like Russell Wilson was making his rookie amount of money while they brought in a veteran quarterback that they just got from Green Bay and paid him millions of dollars, and he was Russell's backup.
Flynn.
Yes, and he was Russell's backup. And you didn't hear Russell bitching about it. You didn't hear Russell wanting a new contract or all this crap. He worked out his deal. The only athlete in recent history that I've seen that did this and did it successfully was Darrelle Revis a few years ago. And
Revis Island,
yeah, he wanted that new deal because other people were making more money and stuff. And the thing is, like, you didn't sign up for a favored nations deal where when people came in, you could make what they were. Because when you signed up for AEW contract, when you signed that deal, you were a indie dude that wasn't even a top indie guy. You were an opening match curtain jerker that was maybe mid-card at best. And you got a deal that was a life-changing amount of money. He got 6 figures. He got signed to where he could quit his other job and just do this. And he signed for an amount of time, and he knew what he was getting into. And now just because he's getting some clout, he's figured out that he's good at this. His character has developed over the last 2 years. Big in part in AEW deciding to push him. It was their idea to put him in feuds with the people that he was in feuds with. He was set up by the company. They didn't have to put him with CM Punk. They didn't have to put him with Moxley. They didn't have to put him with any of these big feuds that he had. He was given a favor by giving a spotlight and valuable TV time. But now he's seeing people like Mark Henry and Paul White and even like Adam Cole, guys like this who were bigger than he ever was at a time. Like they were on featured acts on the biggest wrestling company in the world. They deserve to be making more than him. And so if he wants more money, sure, get your money. Either renegotiate for more money and get more time added on because that's how business works. Or work out your contract, show up for work, be the best freaking heel in the business like you are, making the money that you agreed to make for the amount of years you agreed to make it for. You made a commitment to do the work. Your employee made a commitment to pay you for the work that you're doing for that amount of time. So then go get you paid, bro. It's only, 8, 12, 13 months away? January 2024? 16 months away? Whatever.
Listen.
They did him a favor, man.
Yeah, so you touched on a lot of valid points, specifically about the get the extension and the money that you want, right? Because if we're talking about pro sports, Suave, you talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and then it's going to be more prevalent now for this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
If you sign a deal, you know what you sign up for. You can't fault yourself for not knowing what the future looks like. He's been before he was a household name, mid-Carter or not, best heel in business. Can we agree on that?
I'm here for it.
Snow?
Man, I'm not going to agree. One of the best heels in the business when he was a mid.
Perfect. That works too. That works too. So if you sign up for something and you know you have extra time on it, and someone wants to have an amicable conversation with you, have the conversation. Don't sit there and complain. But if you do complain, you do have reason to complain if people around you are making more than you, but at the same time, no one should know what the other one's making. If everybody's coming in from... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Those days are over. Those days are over of people not knowing what each other make.
Yeah,
that's part of the reason that people can make more money is because they talk about it openly now.
Right. No.
Totally started talking amongst themselves about money in the 90s, you know?
And then as pro wrestling becomes more pro sports-ish, the numbers that they sign for are going to start to become public. Like when someone signs a big deal, you're gonna know the years and the terms of the contract. It's just where this is trending towards. But let's walk this down. So with the Russell Wilson analogy, we do the Green Bay quarterback was Matt Flynn. He was signed to be the guy. They drafted Russell Wilson in the 3rd round. Russell Wilson outperformed the guy that was being paid highly. So that's how they got the starting position. Ended up winning a Super Bowl in the time that he was on his rookie deal. That's kind of how football works to an extent. But if at any point after that Super Bowl, before the new contract, Russell Wilson said, you know what? I have outperformed the terms of this original agreement. I feel as though it is time to upgrade my financial status. The Seahawks have two choices. One, realize that you've already won. You've won the sweepstakes. You have a starting quarterback, he's young, and you've won a Super Bowl. Same thing with Patrick Mahomes, like you broke the bank for him because you had already gotten what you came for.
Yep.
So it means nothing. You're going to recoup it in jersey sales. When you outperform the terms of a contract, it is in your best interest to negotiate while you're up.
Let me add this too. It's also in the best interest of your boss to appreciate the things that you have done and hit your hand if the contract can't be modified.
Because let me
can't be modified. He just doesn't want to. MJF doesn't want more time. So okay.
No. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, for instance, bust your ass until you get congratulations for a job well done, and if you're underpaid, like Tony Snow, you come on here and you help Broken Pencil become the number one pro wrestling podcast infused with hip hop in the world because of this episode. And you've never charged us, but all of a sudden a bag comes. If I don't hit your hand, you're now MJF for us. But if I hit your hand, you're indebted. Like there's more added value for you and invested interest for you to continue to come back to here. You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
No one has ever, except for, and I'm using this as an example, not as the rule, except for WWE's pay-per-view, when you're actually on the card and you get the bonus for the pay-per-view for being on the pay-per-view card. No one has ever got there, like, has been advertised as saying, my boss gave me a bonus just for showing up for TV weekly. In this case, that little level of appreciation probably could have gone a lot further than where we're at right now, because all we got out of it now is one of the best promos in wrestling history, and we still don't know what the situation is.
But you never hear about that. That's I've never, like you said, I've never heard of anyone giving someone a bonus. Like I've heard of them giving people time off after they do good shit. So I mean, I don't think that. I
mean, bonuses for performance is more of a territory era thing. Like, you drew the house or you had the best segment or whatever, you might get a little extra in the cookie jar. But we're talking about way more money on a way bigger scale. But back to your Russell Wilson point, he didn't let this last contract expire. He quietly, that's the only difference. He quietly, behind the scenes, said, you know what, I'm not here for a rebuild. Trade me. The Seahawks didn't have to do that. But what's your alternative? Now, we're in pro wrestling where you can't trade wrestlers back and forth between promotions yet. But he forced his way out of a contract. He didn't see that contract through to its expiration date and then go walk to Denver as a free agent.
But didn't he have a no trade clause in his deal? Like he had control over that.
He has a no trade clause, so he had to waive it for the team he went to, which means he is very much involved in being traded. This isn't a situation where he just woke up and saw the sports ticker and realized he had been shipped across the country. Like, no, he approved this, meaning he helped maneuver his way out. When you do that, you're not, air quotes, honoring the contract, but no one sees a problem with being traded from one place to another. With MJF, he's obviously outperformed the terms of this deal by being the number 2 ratings draw, minute by minute, whatever other stats he quoted. You do realize at 26, he is literally the future of your company.
Yeah, but don't give him all the praise. Look who he's been in the ring with when he's gotten those draw numbers.
No, I'm not giving him all of it. Now he's been in there he's been put in positions to shine. But the
Yes,
thing about that
whole
is,
time he's had everything handed to him at AEW. They've given him huge with every great on the roster almost.
but Snow, with that, you still have to show up. You still have to show up and perform, because you could have done the Orange Cassidy, gotten a few with Chris Jericho, and no one remembers it. You could have pulled that one, or you could have done what happened with Darby Allin. Darby Allin main evented a pay-per-view with CM Punk. We just talked about how that shit's gone since then. He showed up for the match, but shit, he ain't been there for shit else, and that ain't really his fault.
My main point with all of this is he's pointing all these fingers at, in my mind, he's almost biting the hand that's feeding him, bro. Like MJF, if he would have stayed at MLW, he wouldn't have been doing all this.
Yeah, Court would not have been paying him 6 figures, I'm pretty
Exactly. And so, like, it takes two to tango, man. Like, he was given a lot from AEW. They put him in a 26-year-old in the ring with their biggest draw right now, CM Punk. You know what I mean? Like, they put this dude in the ring with Moxley. They put this dude in the ring with a lot of good freaking people, man.
I'm certain CM Punk had something to do with that as well, because I mean, it's not a situation where people do not want to work with him, and he's being forced down people's throats as far into storylines and situations. Like, these people are agreeing to work with MJF, and part of it is because they know when they work with him, they're going to get an A caliber performance.
And he's not even saying I'm taking my ball and going home.
I think he just needs to give more credit to AEW, man. They've given him a lot more than that. They're not the evil empire like he makes it out to be.
The issue is
I think this is a work.
Yeah, number one. Yeah, start with that, Suave. Now, at this point, now he can say whatever he wants to say because it doesn't matter. He got exactly what he wants. If he doesn't get what he wants, he doesn't show up for TV.
Now everybody knows he wants more money. Everybody knows why. So now his part. Sometimes you really do have to stand on the table. Kyler Murray right now unfollowed everything Cardinals related, took it all off his Instagram because he wants a new deal. He wants an extension. And the only power he really has is to say, you know what, I'm going to ride this out and not fuck with you, and it's going to cost you more later. So sometimes you have to stand on the table because, okay, another example, since we're using NFL quarterbacks. Had you paid Dak Prescott after season 2, when you realized Tony Romo was not going to be on the team anymore, you would be paying him half of what you're paying now. Half. But you played the long game, thought he may or may not pan out,
and lost a season.
$40 million a year when you could have paid him 20, 22, 25, maybe even 28.
And lost the season.
And lost the season in the process. The season he fucked himself off was the one you had to pay him.
I think that if this is a work, which I'm thinking more and more now as some more stuff's coming to light, and if it is, I applaud Tony Khan for taking chicken shit and making chicken salad. You know, he took a bad situation and turned it into a good storyline, but I don't like what started it all. I don't like the position that he was in as an ungrateful little prick in my mind. But
that's who he is on TV though. So for the fans, that's all we need to see.
Everything is true to form. He is exactly who we thought he was.
Comes as advertised.
Dennis Green. They are who we thought they were.
The other reason that I'm more and more starting to think it's a work, have you guys noticed who is being mentioned that MJF is being seen with as he's been exiting buildings and traveling around?
No.
Pat Buck.
Thank you, Suave. Who's Pat Buck, Wood?
Pat Buck is an agent who used to work for WWE but joined AEW shortly after, saying that he was going to leave WWE to spend more time with his family, which is right after WrestleMania.
And when did he join WWE? Right at the end of WrestleMania?
AEW, a week after WrestleMania is when he left. He left WWE for AEW.
Right before all this MJF stuff started kicking up, and he's been seen with MJF. So
Pat Buck would be the last person to sell you on Stanford.
Number one.
So,
okay, here's the part of it that I feel like is a shoot.
No, I think Pat Buck is behind the work part of it, and that's what he's doing. He came from WWE. He's like, guys, up here, we would have done this with this shit. Let's do this. Like, I think Pat Buck is orchestrating.
And that's not too far to realm of possibility because Jeremy Borash brought a bunch of Impact TNA shit to WWE production wise.
Thank you.
So I absolutely love that if Pat Buck is involved, and kudos to him. Here's the part about it that I really think is a shoot, and this might be the most overlooked shoot part of it all. MJF used to work in MLW. We do know this.
Mm-hmm.
Who was there at the same time he was in MLW?
There's a bunch of people. Jacob Fatu was there. Pat Buck was there.
Let me be more specific. Who actually has ties to Stamford even now?
I was gonna say because Deuce just mentioned it too. Pat Buck even helped train him. So
only person I could think of that was down there was David Hart Smith.
No, Bruce Pritchard.
Oh, that's right.
the head of creative.
I didn't know he was ever at MLW.
Him and Cornette were there at the same time.
Yeah, the end of MJF's run with MLW, right as he was doubling at AEW, Bruce was there. Because Cornette was doing commentary.
And as much as, because this is not the first time MJF has kind of teased the 2024, the great flood of 2024. He's mentioned
having Bruce Pritchard on speed dial.
Exactly. So if you've got Bruce Pritchard's number in real life and you have communicated with him before either one of you ended up where you're at now in real life, it's not above the realm of possibility that Bruce Pritchard can just text a number to him. This is what you can get here.
Just a number, $, comma, that's it. Nothing else needs to be explained, just a number. How about this? How about this?
Oh, fuck it, $, a number, and a letter.
Let's talk about timing, right? This coming Sunday is the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view for WWE. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
The Hell in a Cell Premium Live Event, the PLE.
Players living extra.
You feel me? Now, they've already post promo. AEW has not mentioned the name Maxwell Jacob Friedman or MJF at all. Not one announcer, not one performer has mentioned the name MJF at all.
But you know what showed up on my YouTube recommendations this morning?
Pipe bomb?
MJF's Tough Enough audition from 7 years ago that WWE posted.
Wait, hold on, Tony. You're getting ahead of me. We're in the same car, and you're trying to drive, but I got the steering wheel in my hand. Trust me. No. I'm not mad at you. Trust me.
I'm in the back seat sorting through snacks, so somebody,
pass me
figure it out.
Pass me a chocolate chip cookie. I can take you home.
Here you go, sir. Would you like some wrap snacks, Snowman?
I'll take a Fig Newton or two.
I don't believe we picked any of those up at Buc-ee's.
He wants some natural fiber. All right, so
I'll also take a Nilla wafer.
Wow.
Fucking guy.
We went to the gas station, not the grocery store.
I love banana pudding, bro.
Yeah, I do too. I'll tell you where you get some good ones in Dallas too. Hey, so anyway, fast forward.
Yeah.
This coming Sunday, or is it Saturday? Is it Saturday or Sunday? Hell, I'm losing track now. Sunday.
It's Sunday, June 5th, just because I was on the network earlier today. So
Hell in a Cell.
All right, so Rampage, I can probably tell you won't feature Max. AEW has already removed him from the website.
Mm-hmm. He's been removed from the roster as well as AEW shop.
What a better flex for someone who's supposed to be behind the barricade, Max's words, than to send Max to Hell in a Cell.
Front row seats. No mention. I'd pay whatever the fuck I could to get a scalper to drop me a row 1 seat 8 seat.
Do you understand? You know the seat that he needs to get? Whatever seat West Side Gun buys for AEW events.
He needs to be in that seat that Enzo Amore was in dancing on that pay-per-view.
Dead ass. He needs to either, and that was like That was floor level, probably row 4 or 5. I'll take him in a seat behind the commentary table.
Oh.
Front row behind commentary, then you can't miss him.
Completely unavoidable. Row 1 or 2 behind the commentary table, completely unavoidable. You are the star attraction, and they will not not put the commentary team on TV.
Yeah, put its head right next to Michael Cole.
In between. Let me sprinkle some more work dust on top of this.
And
you don't take anybody off the roster and out of AEW shop unless you fired them. If you have heard nothing about him being fired, this is continually a work.
This is like Max said in the promo. He's a generational talent. There's no question. His mic work is generational. Max. The last time we saw anybody this dope on the microphone, his name was Johnson, and he was gang.
Dude, I'm telling you though, like I got some serious Nature Boy Ric Flair vibes when he was screaming on the mic about how he's the best in the world.
See,
I can't
back it down and elbow drops it. I'm out of here.
I can't keep listening to people say that they give Flair vibes when Flair was only that good because he had Dusty to go after. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that Hard Times wasn't a dope ass promo, because it was. I'm not saying that Flair gave a bad promo, because he never did. But I remember more than the in-ring shit, those segments like you have at the TV booth at the step and repeat where Dusty gave Hard Times. I remember one time they had a strip off. Flair came out there. No, actually, no, it was Tully. Tully came out to act the fool, and then Flair came out to act the fool, and then strip. So Dusty came out there with Baby Doll and act the fool and strip. Right in front of Tony Schiavone. It was almost like a rib on Tony Schiavone, more than anything.
So Flair had a main antagonist, which brought out the best in him.
Yeah, whereas
MJF is essentially doing a lot of this on his own volition, even though he does have his
antagonist is.
Yeah, he's trying to turn it into Stone Cold Mr. McMahon again.
I literally said that last night. MJF is Austin, AEW Austin.
I look at it differently. Like, instead of him beefing with Khan, because Khan is not getting in the ring under any circumstances. No. Okay, Snow. I know you know this. You remember CM Punk's Ring of Honor Summer of Punk?
Of course.
Okay, can you summarize what happened during the Summer of Punk?
What do you mean, where he basically said he was leaving Ring of Honor and going to WWE, and then even like signed his WWE contract on the Ring of Honor title?
Okay. Fast forward 2020. Was it 2012?
Something like that. So, okay, we know what happened with the Summer of Punk in WWE, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, where he, held Vince up for a contract, and he won the title, and then he said he's leaving with it.
And what did he do with it the next night? Oh, the same night.
Put it in his refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
And how do we know this? Because we saw it.
So now we're looking at a situation in AEW where Punk is champion. Him and MJF are 1-1. We know the eventual outcome at some point is going to be MJF as World Heavyweight Champion. What I would like to do is formally introduce you guys to the Summer of Max. Because what I see going on is, now that you've basically cut his strings loose as far as where he is, where he goes, he's disgruntled. He is a disgruntled employee to the point that they have removed him from the website, from the store. So, air quotes, he can't generate any money, but he's already well off, so I don't know how much that's going to matter.
During
and then you can let him bounce around to all these other different places and spread his rhetoric, because he doesn't like AEW, but at the same time he should be trying to sabotage AEW at every possible moment.
Listen,
until they give him what he wants.
What if we find out this was all just an elaborate work, because MJF and Tony Khan still are these great friends they were from the beginning. CM Punk is MJF's greatest, most favorite wrestler of all time, so MJF wanted to make his own Summer of Punk. that culminates with him winning the title from Punk at the end of this year.
Man, listen,
Welcome to our
hold on. So during the Punk Max feud, what was Max's whole angle up until the time they actually started? Up until the time that Max started doing Max shit. How much he looked up to Punk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Post,
yeah, he was his hero. Showed the picture, all that. Remember?
Yeah, post, even the T-shirt. Post cutting the mic off last night. Guess who came out when the cameras were on commercial? CM Punk.
Punk came out with one shoe on, limping down the ramp.
Exactly. So what the fuck is Punk gonna tell him about walking out?
The one thing Punk is going to do through all of this is coach Max.
But more importantly, Suave, where was Punk's left wrestling boot at? Why are you coming down with one shoe on?
Because you've been sitting in Gorilla waiting on this since you got out of your match. So you took the Atmos shoe off and the kick pad and just pulled the knee pad down to the shin.
So you're gonna hobble down to the ring looking like Gangrel with the Hardys.
Exactly. There is no reason for Punk to come out on an AEW program trying to approach Max for anything other than a fight. They just had a dog collar match where they bled all over each other. He can't coach me on shit. You took your ball and went home a long time ago. If anything, I'm following your blueprint. Matter of fact, you did it once as a work and once as a shoot. Welcome to the summer of Max, and I guarantee you at some point there's going to be a contract involved that gets signed on top of the AEW Pretty Platinum.
Let me give you the card, because we're not going to play. You know who ain't going to win? It ain't worth it. I'm going to give you the card for Money in the Bank, or sorry, for Hell in a Cell.
Hold on, before I have one MJF question I wanted to ask you real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because this just came to mind. I thought everyone that signed at the beginning of AEW signed 3-year deals. Why was Max's deal not coming up until 2024? Why would he sign a 5-year?
Because they knew what they had, and so did he.
And I'm not so sure that he signed at the very beginning.
Yeah, he came on at the very beginning.
I mean, he was there at the beginning. I'm not so sure he signed at the beginning, is what I'm saying.
No, I thought that initial crop of signees, the first few months, all had 3-year deals. That's why Joey Janela's gone. That's why Peter Avalon's deal expired. He's doing any bookings. Like a lot of people are renegotiating.
Let's keep it a whole 1,000. If you're Peter Avalon,
nope.
Joey Janela,
keep it more.
Who else? Give me another one that's around that time.
I'm just saying that to say,
Sonny
Kiss. He had a 3-year deal. If he had a 3-year deal. And then he already re-signed at some point, didn't he?
I'm saying that to say that none of the people you just named who didn't re-sign or were not re-signed, if you took all of them and smashed them together, they would not equal half of what MJF provides.
The Bucks had 3-year deals. Jericho had a 3-year deal.
The Bucks are also still executives. Jericho has a favorite nations clause. He has his own pay bracket.
Then there's that.
I didn't know Jericho had a favored nations clause. Fuck.
I'm not saying. I don't know that for sure, but I do know that he has his own bracket, his own pay bracket.
To your point, Snow, from earlier about the WWE guys that came over and their names were more established, so they made more. That is true, but also Tony Khan's got to look at this as like, who is more valuable to me right now? Like, yes, you deserve maybe a higher pay scale because of the equity in your name. But once you get here and start contributing and your value doesn't seem to be as high as a guy I'm paying way less, it's just a smart idea to get to him early and give him more money now, as opposed to having to give him more money later when yesterday's price is not today's price. That's the whole thing. That's why I feel like Khan should have been intuitive about that. Approach him super fucking early, because he's 26. And this goes for a lot of people on the roster who probably have deals coming up. Max Caster, Bowens, Darby Allin, anybody in that bracket of under 30.
Right now, that as far as a tag team, Max Caster and Bowens have the propensity to be the tag team version of MJF because they're homegrown talent with the same mic skills and level of work inside the ring to perpetuate such an attitude problem. In fact, I could dare say they could form a faction with Max and come with the exact same energy.
Dude, Max Caster, did you see that photo he posted of him flipping off Vince McMahon's star on the wall?
Sure did.
I saw that. That was a terrible negotiating move.
Yeah.
You could have drove the price up.
Yeah, that's the worst thing you could possibly do with the situation that Max is doing. I understand that you're teetering on face shit right now, and like sexuality aside, his mic work is impeccable. Let's milk that cow for what it's worth. And if you decide that you want to catch attitude when Bowens comes back about your pay, holler at Max for tips. Follow him for more recipes. Literally follow him for more recipes.
Don't cut your money off before you get to the table to negotiate, because you can use that number to push the number where you want to be up.
I love Anthony Bowens, man. That dude's great. He really is.
Like, they're both great. Hey, Khan should be in Will Hobbs' DMs like a basketball wife right now. He need to be tricking on him like a stripper. Just throwing money at him, because you can't even remotely allow his deal to come up where you're fighting against now obviously you have more money than them, but still you don't want to be pouring unnecessary resources on top of what you gonna owe. You
have a young black man who has transformed his body since being on television, who was heralded by a WWE, a legendary WWE superstar in Hacksaw Butch Reed, who they keep referencing. He's a singles wrestler. He's a tag team specialist who shouldn't be a tag team. He should be a singles specialist. He's a tag team specialist who's also a singles wrestler. And he fits the build.
Ice Train Jr. is out here fucking around.
He's baby Big E. Are you fucking kidding me?
And not just with Hobbs. You should be tricking on Wardlow right now. You need a preemptive strike on these contracts. If they're only dealing with 3-year deals, then you should have been negotiating last week. But if they're on 5-year deals, or you cherry pick, pick and chose who you wanted to give 5 and 3-year deals to, either way, it's extension time.
Yeah,
everybody.
WWE.
You can't handle. Oh, I'm sorry. You can't handle this. You can't handle this roster the way that things get handled with the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's the thing I'm most afraid of.
WWE,
because the Jaguars are horrible about retaining talent.
WWE has yet to get an influx of displaced AEW wrestlers. They haven't signed one AEW wrestler yet of notice. Whereas WWE in the last year has signed Keith Lee, Shane Strickland, Athena. Like, these are 3 people who are at the top of different cards, whether it be Raw, SmackDown, or NXT, or all 3. These folks were at the top of those cards within the last year.
I didn't even think about who could really be texting Max and there'd be no tampering. If Cody decides to shoot a text to Max like, "Hey, this is what you can get. This is what I can help you get,"
it's not even a conflict of interest
at all.
Yeah, that was in my head from the get-go that Cody's been trying to get him out there.
So you think they just signed Cody because he smiles good?
Dude, and there's going to be more. I mean, like I said, these initial 3-year deals just went up, and so there's going to be time. They're not going to snatch people. AEW doesn't have anyone right now other than Cody that, as soon as their deal expired, snatching them up would make a splash.
This is a $50 million fix. Take that pay-per-view revenue and look at everybody who is under the age of 35 on your roster and just start throwing money at them.
These are the types of situations, this Max angle specifically, are the types of situations that can literally save an industry. I'm not saying that it needs saving, but like WWE is losing 2 to 3 top stars for the entire summer.
Dude, do you remember back when AEW first started and WWE was signing their talent to exorbitant deals to keep them from being signed by AEW?
That's when they put in the pause clause.
Yeah, and then like 2 years into AEW, WWE was like, "Nah, fuck this," and just started releasing those same people.
The first person that happened to was the person who they initiated the pause clause for, which was Luke Harper, aka Brody Lee.
This is what Khan needs to be doing now. It's your turn to play chess.
And Brody Lee has a lifetime posthumous contract with AEW simply off the fact that he became a bigger star in 1 year with AEW than he did in 5 with WWE.
He became a bigger star within the first 2 months. Like no one would have ever imagined him as a singles star that much. I mean, even though he had that short singles run where he was the Intercontinental Champion for a cup of coffee, everyone remembered him as a tag champ with Rowan. And when he got to AEW, they let him shine as a singles star. And anyone that says he was anything less than magnificent is just an idiot. And I'm not saying that because he's no longer with us, rest in peace. But his singles run in AEW was magnificent. That dog collar match with Cody, like a month before.
Oh man, he and the fact that he dog walked Cody in a dog collar match.
Come on, man. The fact that he didn't have more matches in front of an actual crowd.
Thank you so much. But he was one of the driving forces through the pandemic era.
Yeah, yep,
that part. So, but I also want to make sure people understand this, like with this comparison between AEW's roster and the Jaguars. There was a season where when the Jaguars had drafted Jalen Ramsey, Miles Jack, and I think they followed up the next year, drafted Leonard Fournette, had all of these first round talents, went to an AFC Championship game, didn't win, but it looked like, okay, this team is gonna be around for a while. You changed some things in leadership, and all of a sudden you started alienating your stars. You didn't want to pay them. Different situations like that. So you end up cutting Leonard Fournette. You traded Jalen Ramsey. Miles Jack, I think his contract is expired. I'm not sure if he's still there. But now you basically tanked your way back into the number 1 pick. You cannot, under any circumstances, afford to apply that logic to your current roster of AEW talent. Male, female, undecided. Pay these people now, and you can always fire them later.
Dude, I think we're getting to a point, and Suave touched on this earlier. I meant to comment then, but then I got high. Anyway, I think we're getting to a point where pro wrestling deals are going to become public knowledge, like NFL deals or pro sport. Like you're going to wake up because Sports Illustrated and other sports websites are already covering WWE. So it's going to come to a point where you wake up and you'll see, hey, the Young Bucks re-signed for 4 years at $8 million a year or whatever. You know, it's coming, man.
It's literally it's the natural progression. Like Suave said it last week that it's going to be more pro sports than ever, and the fact that at the last upfronts they were trying to sell wrestling as a sport, as sports, because it helps the advertising dollars to get spent better with pro wrestling.
Dude, it's featured on Bleacher Report. I mean, come on. Oh, what was your heat with Bleacher Report, by the way?
That fucking app.
That app is trash. Oh my God, so many people had problems trying to watch the pay-per-view.
It was so bad they censored the chat. They stopped people from chatting because they knew everybody was coming with smoke.
Yeah, so when you're in the mobile app, there's a live chat function for people to, just shoot the shit. So many people talked about how much trouble they were having just logging on to the site to watch the pay-per-view that they completely disabled chat.
It's not on Fight TV anymore?
Not in the US.
Yeah, we don't have that option. If we had more options, I certainly wouldn't be on Bleacher Report.
How about this? You pay for it through the app, right? And then when you log back into it the next day, which is the day that it's actually live, trying to watch the buy-in, you can't even find the buy-in. I watched the buy-in on YouTube.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I watched the buy-in.
It was such a shit show.
But wait.
We haven't heard.
When you get to the actual pay-per-view, it still asked me to purchase what I was already paid for. Are you fucking kidding me? I wish I would.
I tell you, this video is unavailable.
I got on there late. I guess it was fixed by the time I got on there. Like the first match I saw live was the end of the Hardys and Bucks.
Yeah, and you had glitches that came through a little bit after that too.
I missed the MJF stuff. I missed his match. I had to watch that.
He was out first. Yeah,
I had to watch that on the replay.
It was a shit show, and you haven't seen one iota of a apology from AEW, from Bleacher Report, from anyone. And like, it's not just a situation that was unique to us. There were seemingly a lot of people, even when we were doing a live thread that we were participating in, where people actually in the thread talking with us were having the same problems.
Listen, it was things like as little as trying to go full screen and turn it in portrait mode from landscape, and the screen going black with no audio, as if like it was broke. Twice I had to power cycle my damn tablet because the app had got my tablet stuck.
Now, if you tell me Max was out back in the truck unplugging shit, now cool, make it work. But when you're spending $50 trying to support the brand and the app, the vehicle by which you consume this content, repeatedly fucks you, that's an issue. That's some shit you need to address now, not later. Now.
Man, yeah. Or just doing it back on Fight TV too. I mean, come on.
Something.
Yeah.
Or go ahead and finalize this shit with Discovery and go ahead and get this streaming shit popping.
Yeah,
we
got to do something better than that. Like this. I hate to sound like this, and I hate to put myself out there like this, but this shit was so bad, I'd almost be willing to bootleg it and take my chances going forward until they figure out something better. Because Bleacher Report gets a big old fuck you.
Dude, they just need to do like WWE with Peacock, Discovery Plus, use their fucking network, and bam, done.
It seems easy enough.
Or put the shit on HBO Max, wherever you want to put it. It doesn't matter. Just put it somewhere where it's going to work.
So, speaking of WWE, before we get up out of here, let me run through these matches real quick. Cody versus Seth, Hell in a Cell. Bianca versus Asuka versus Becky Lynch, triple threat for the Raw Women's title. Lashley versus the Blackster piece, Bobby Lashley versus Omos, or Almost as he calls it, an MVP in a 2-on-1 handicap match. Ezekiel versus Kevin Owens, a singles match. Theory versus Mustafa Ali in a singles match for the U.S. Championship. And in a 6-person mixed tag match, Finn Balor, AJ Styles, and Liv Morgan versus Judgment Day. I thought we were going to have 2 Hell in a Cell matches. Apparently, we're just having this one, and we haven't heard one SmackDown match on this bitch yet.
Yeah, and we don't have the Tribal Chiefs, so we don't have either world title being defended.
Their tag team champions from SmackDown are being defended. So you not only are we not acknowledging our Tribal Chief and our head of the table, but the gang ain't here.
What I think, and you know, this may be a stretch, man, but the only 2 matches on this card I care about them because I've got this crazy storyline that I've come up in my head. You've noticed in the past couple of years the evolution of Seth Rollins' character, and now he's doing the the weird suits and all this stuff.
Yep,
he's the Joker.
And Becky Lynch is getting more and more disheveled and had her hair cut and was in the all that other weird stuff and shit.
The Harley Quinn.
Dude, there we go. I think they both lose and they build towards Seth and Becky being like a Joker and Harley Quinn duo in WWE, and that they go with that angle. And I hope they.
I'm sorry, I do you one better, and I really hope I'm wrong in this. Maxwell Jacob Friedman has the entire wrestling world talking. Who's one person that can get the world talking about wrestling again more than Maxwell Jacob Friedman?
Wyndham Rotunda.
And there's your surprise for Hell in a Cell. Show at BrokenPistolBC.com, BrokenPistolBC@gmail.com. It's at BrokenPistolBC on all things social. So that's at BrokenPistolBC on what?
Everything.
Tony Snow, we appreciate you as always, my man. You know you family. You know you family. I love it when our discussions get animated and heated. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what family fight. You know what I'm saying? But regardless.
We didn't even really fight.
What did our discussion?
No. I'm not saying that it happened. I'm just saying like we
just have that one differing point about when it's time to get out of a contract or how you get out. That's it.
Either way.
Whole lot of fucking gang shit.
Speaking of, hold on before we get up out of here. Dante Smiley, JTG, Shane Taylor. I'm sick of you. All three of you. I'm sick of you.
Why?
Y'all, they're gang. Gang shouldn't be fighting gang because at the end of the day, it's still gang. Now I got to make choices. I got to choose sides for gang. You know the side I'm choosing?
You don't have to choose. You just choose the gang.
I'm choosing gang every time.
Lot of fucking gang shit.
On that note, Wood, tomorrow night, I'm only going to be there a little bit of the show because I have a DJ booking as well. My commentary partners, Walker Stewart and Charles Murphy, will be continuing the show tomorrow night. But the main event at Red River Wrestling tomorrow night is the rematch, Shane Taylor versus Ryan Davidson. It's going to be absolutely incredible.
And I'm sure Robert Langdon's going to show up, and if he does some stupid shit, he's bound to see me.
Man.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Robert Langdon, stay in your place, and I'm going to stay in mine.
I got Shane by KO.
Dude, someone needs to get that man to stay in his place. He keeps getting hurt, and he's putting himself in those positions.
Tony Snow,
stop allowing yourself to be fucked over.
Tony Snow, I don't even play a tough guy on TV, so I'm not going to do it on this podcast. But Robert Langdon, I'm going to tell you, you saw what happened to you last time because of Shane. Get out of line again. Shane may have to have somebody just take care of his lightweight. It's me.
A lot of gang shit.
The gang might slide.
we might slide. You see black and green as a problem. Tony Snow, thank you once again, my man. Safe travels this weekend, and make sure that you don't collect too many more bras or all of them because you're single, man. You know what I'm saying?
Connect or disconnect all the ones you want.
Hey, dude, it's all love, man, and like I said, dude, I appreciate you guys so much. You know, I love talking wrestling. That was always my dream as a kid, was to be a commentator, and now I get to do that twice a month. So anytime I get a chance to talk about wrestling, especially with a couple stand-up guys like y'all who love hip-hop as much as I do, I'd take that opportunity. So Suave and Wood, thank you so much, my brother.
I never thought that I would have the opportunity to do commentary, but yeah, coming soon. Coming soon.
Doors open, my guy. Doors open.
They're making real bad choices out here. Let me get
the
active.
Tax man soon coming.
Yeah, buddy.
If I'm sitting at the commentary table and Warning by Notorious B.I.G. starts playing, and Trey walks through the curtain, man.
The pleasure's all yours. I promise it is. Suave, you know what happens when you combine the IRS?
What happens?
It means theirs. Take them to the house.
Pencil pushers. For Wood, Snow, and Max.
Wait a minute.
Heads up.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I couldn't resist. It was just too much.
Shout out Max Caster.
Max Caster, Max Friedman, Max Payne. And Man,
I ran into him at WrestleCon. Man Mountain Rock, Max Payne.
Yes, I was fucking Man Mountain Rock. Yes. For all of those people, Naomi, Sasha, and Pat Buck, thanks from the whole studio staff. Pencil pushers. Heads up. Pencils down.